Yes, sir. Yes,
He was
sir.
going crazy.
And by that time,
Meet me in the trap. It's going down. Meet me at the mall. It's going down.
y'all already know, man. We're glad to be back tonight, man, with y'all. We got a special show today. We're going to be talking, obviously, about hustling, but we're going to be bringing on Born to Compete, the man behind the brand itself, 11 Alive, does big stuff, man. Alex Benson, he going to be on with us in a little bit. Great thing for just, young players, recruits to come on, be able to kind of get that knowledge, that tutelage from him. He's been in the game for a long time. So we're going to bring him on in a little bit. But we got a big jam-packed show. But nonetheless, let me go ahead and bring on Bacon. And Jerome, man, how y'all boys feeling?
Hey, man, great day.
I'm feeling great right now. I'll explain in a second, but I'm feeling great right now.
I'll bet you are. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get the first and foremost started, man. Let's get it started. Jerome,
get it.
I know you want to get this off your chest, player.
Yes,
so go ahead.
I want to get off my chest. And excuse my camera because right now my internet is kind of acting crazy, so I'm a little blurry right now. But if you can see what I'm wearing right now, I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. And I'm excited because we got a big splash yesterday getting Saquon Barkley. And then today we got my boy back, CJGJ. If you don't know who that is, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I'm excited to get him back, bro. He was a big part of that Super Bowl run that we had 2 years ago, man. To have him back in the city, man, it feels good, man. We needed him last year. It was very evident with, the bad tackling and, we tried to replace him with, Kevin Byard and a whole bunch of other names. So I'm excited right now because it's a good day to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Once again, baby. Let's look at our offense. Who's stopping Saquon and all those other people? That's crazy. Saquon.
Your offensive coordinator.
We got a new one now, though. We got Kellen Moore. So we'll see. You're right.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a defense that can, but the offensive coordinator got a lot of mouths to feed.
We'll see. You're right, and we'll see how he does with that because I heard that he don't like to run the ball sometimes. So hopefully, him seeing Saquon, it was like, all right, let's mix it up a little bit. Hope we'll definitely see, but I'm excited. Obviously, you can't win the Super Bowl in the offseason. You can't win the Super Bowl on paper. It has to come all together. So I want to temper my expectations a little bit. I'm more excited today seeing CJ Gardner-Johnson because I know what he could bring to Philadelphia and I know what he did for Philadelphia. Where does Saquon, where it's a little bit unknown. But, man, you got to love football. Right before we came in, we had two big news-breaking things. Obviously, Devontae Johnson, I think that's how you say his name, got traded from the Steelers to the Panthers, which is insane. So I don't want to talk too much about the NFL or all that stuff like that because I know we got special guests on and I don't want to hold up the time. But I just want to express my happiness right now. But go ahead, Bacon.
First and foremost, congratulations to all the Georgia high school champions from Friday, Saturday, man. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people get to accomplish that feat, even get there as a runner-up. So, man, congratulations to everybody who got that ring and did their thing, man. So that's my first and foremost.
Short and sweet tonight, huh?
Yeah, man, short and sweet. Sometimes you gotta give some love to the kiddies, man. You know what I'm saying? The next to the next.
The next one's up.
I feel you, man. I'm gonna go women's basketball, man. I mean, sign me up for the rematch, man. I know like it didn't turn out how the way people wanted to turn out, but that's the kind of assignment we want to see, man. I mean, South Carolina, LSU, that's what we want to see. You know what I'm saying? So give me another rematch in the NCAA tournament. I want to see it. Camila Cardoza, Angel Reese going at it back and forth, right? Flau'jae Johnson versus what's the girl name?
Malaysia
Fuele. Like, let me see all that. Pow. I want to see all that. Give me all that and let me see that in the NCAA tournament yet again, man. Unfortunately, didn't like the way it ended, but I think that's going to be a fire matchup. I think the NCAA tournament for the girls' side is going to be very, very exciting. Can't wait. Got Caitlin Clark from Iowa. You're going to have Juju Watkins of USC. You got South Carolina, LSU. Man, it's going to be a barn burner, man. Sign me up. I can't wait. Sunday stamped it for me. I cannot wait to see what the tournament going to look like.
Man, so I've been talking to people. They be like, man, I know a lot more girls than I do men's this year. I'm like, what? Like, that's facts. That's facts, man.
Game is growing, man. Game is growing.
Facts, bro. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's gonna be a movie the whole way out, man. Whole way out.
I'm trying to tell you. But that's the first and foremost segment. Without further ado, if he is ready to go, Jerome, let's go ahead and bring on our special guest, Alex Benson from Born to Compete, one of the big ones in the game. I know he goes by JAG, just a guy, but to us, he's more than that. For us, he's been a special person we can lean on for advice. And somebody that's kind of been a mentor for us, man, getting us in the game and showing us the kind of way around it. So without further ado, man, let's bring him on.
Hand clap emojis in the chat, man.
Okay. Oh man, we got the little horns. Yeah. Pass the bottles in the VIP section. You know what I'm saying? Get it jumping, baby. Get it jumping.
Let's do it. How you doing, Alex?
Get the little what the little sparkler joint they got with the sign, have the birthday sign. Yeah, give me all that, man. How's it going? Everything's going great, guys. Like I was telling you before we started, just finished playing basketball. My son outside, and I don't care how old I get, man. I could be 70 and can't really run too well, bad hip, and I still refuse to let him beat me. I will jump on his back. That's what I would do. That's how it goes, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, how are y'all doing? Y'all look great. Like I said, Najee got his chin in the camera. My man got the new cut over there, you know what I'm saying, with the Bacon Network.
Yes, sir.
Brand new cut, too, boy. Hey, I'm glad. It was time.
Definitely. You know
what I'm saying? My dog Jerome, he got that joint right there, boy. Right there. That's his signature. Every time I see him, boy, he got that one hair hanging right in front of his eye. You know what I'm saying? Does that ever get in your eye? Does it ever like
it does? It does sometimes. It's getting to a point where it's getting too close to my eye. It's getting real low. It's getting long. So I'm like, every time I'm like, he's wiping it fast, and I don't know. But yeah,
I got you. You ever thought about putting it in a hair bow or something?
I do sometimes. I do sometimes. You know.
Cool. But it wouldn't be your signature look though if it didn't go down your face.
Exactly. See, look, like when I need a haircut, I'll oak you down so you can't tell. You know, I'm working back there, kind of disguise it a little bit. So.
Got it. I'm with it, man. Hey, everybody got their thing. It's cool. Let's roll. What's up?
Yes, sir.
So who wants to start?
Yeah, kick starters, man.
All right, man. So Alex, I just want you to kind of, for those that are watching, right, want to get in this game, journalism game, just kind of tell us a little bit about your story, man, a little bit about yourself, what your brand is. It's very recognizable all over the country. And a little bit about, what you do for these kids, getting them a feature on 11 Alive. You just did an interview with Johnson Gilbert and some of the major prospects here in the state. Just talk a little bit about your story, man, and where you gotten into where it is today.
All right. So I'm going to attack it in piece by piece. You're going to have to remind me of your questions as I go through, okay? So for me, when I first got started, I was graduating college. I had finished playing football. And, a lot of guys, when we finish playing college football, sometimes we don't have an identity. We weren't one of the greats for the schools that's always getting called back, or, I was a good player, but I wasn't one of the guys going to get inducted to the Hall of Fame at the school. You know what I'm saying? So I had some good days, some bad days, and I was just trying to figure it out after college. And, had some ups and some jobs were good, some jobs were bad. And then we finally came with this idea to do something called Born to Compete and basically make it like a ESPN for kids. You know what I'm saying? And I worked it, and I ended up meeting people on my journey. I met Frank Ski, and he had the Youth Bowl going on. And at that particular time, radio was a huge thing. So he let me come on his radio show. So I was on his radio show, once a week doing my thing, And then as time went on, 11 Alive found out about us. And so I was doing 11 Alive for free for years, being on 3 and 11 Alive free for years just to get my name out, to get my company out there. And then as the company grew, I saw the impact we had, and I was like, okay, we've gone from a company now, we've gone from a hardworking young man to now a guy with an actual voice within the community. And so that's when we started doing our Autism Bowl. We started doing our college trips. Our college trips I'm really proud of because our college trips, forgive me for coughing, like I said, I just came from outside. Our college trips, you didn't have to have all this money and all kind of stuff like that, man. You just do your thing, man. Do your thing on the football field, make good grades. Let's get on this bus and let's go ahead and go, man. And we started doing those college trips, and all of a sudden our players started getting recognized because we started getting them there early in the 8th grade. And people started seeing what we had. One of my favorite memories is we take Trevor Lawrence on a college trip, and we go to North Carolina. This is when the old coaching staff was in, not the new one. Obviously, right? And they were asking for another player at that time, me to put the other player on the phone. I said, look, the other player, he's gone. He's going to be at Ohio State. Let's not talk about him no more. I said, you need to, I got a kid, Trevor Lawrence. He's the real deal. Offer him now. I said, do not let him get off this campus. Well, that particular group didn't necessarily listen to me. And obviously, Trevor ended up becoming what he ended up becoming. But that college trip has been kind of a staple of ours. Again, I'm very proud of it because we've been able to get kids, whether they have the resources or don't have the resources, get them in front of colleges early so we can help get their name out there, right? And it's not a situation where you had to play an all-star game with us or anything crazy like that. No, if we identify you, come on, get on the bus. Let's go ahead and do this thing. And I think the other thing that made us special too is at that particular time, people weren't going in the hood like that to cover these players. You know what I'm saying? People were having their camps, and you had to either come to their camp or come to the tournament. For us, we were going to the games, and not a lot of people do that in the youth industry because, maybe their hood pass ain't right or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just never had an issue, but I've been able to go everywhere because we were celebrating their kids. And when you do that and the parents see you from ages 5 through 8th grade and now through high school and college, you grow a rapport with them that is family. And that's why we call it the B2C family. It's a very real thing. So we have that. We've been able to do that. And as time went on, then we had the gala, the B2C Awards Gala. And the Awards Gala right now is, to me, the hottest thing smoking. In sports, if you ask my personal opinion, this past year we had Kirby was guest speaker, Coach Kirby was guest speaker, Champ Bailey was one of the guest speakers, Trayvon Walker, who came through our system, number 1 overall draft pick, he was a guest speaker, and then all of our awards were named after NFL players, and a lot of them gave their names to us, and they also either donated a jersey or made a video for us, or their family showed up to hand out the award. So, man, it was just a beautiful thing, man. It was a beautiful thing, a beautiful night. We do about 1,000+ people at the Georgia Aquarium, and I trying to make people understand this. Some of these kids, this is their first time ever going to the Georgia Aquarium. You know what I'm saying? So they can go and they can experience a little bit of it and just open their eyes, you know what I'm saying? And dress up, get right, be in front of a national championship winning college coach, be in front of a Hall of Famer, be in front of a number 1 overall draft pick. How many times you going to have those 3 type of men in the room at the same time? And you're, 5 years old through 8th grade. So we want to show them their dream, right? Then we can help them kind of experience their dream with the college trip. And then they have to go seize their dream. So I think that's the best way really to explain us in a nutshell. Man, that was good. Boy. Are you recording this? Y'all recording this? I need that back, man.
You said run that back.
Boy, that was some heat right there, boy.
One for the archives.
Well, I felt that in my shana now. You know what I'm saying? That's all right there, boy. That's pulpit service right there.
I think my next question for you, man, is for you, right? You've been doing it so long. How are you able just to identify some of this talent that you see that okay, this kid can be up next? Like, what are some things that kind of stand out to you when you evaluating these different prospects and seeing them even at the youth level?
Okay, so some stuff I can give you, some stuff I got to keep to myself because it's kind of our secret there. One thing I can give you is I played. So played high school. Was fortunate to be pretty doggone good in high school, and then college I was okay. I wasn't a man, but I was pretty okay in college as well. And I'll always say, it's a game recognized game. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, who would I want to play with? That's what I always looked at. Who would I want to play with? Players know players. And so you can recognize that. And we used to work with Dion back in the day. And here's the part I can give you. He gave me some advice a long, long time ago, which we put into our formula and almost made our formula gold. You know what I'm saying? And after that, because we were able to identify people, we were able to work with all different All-American games from FBU, the high school one, the NBC All-American game, or All-American game on NBC powered by Adidas, and the Under Armour game, and the Under Armour youth game, or Under Armour next game. So the formula we got, it really works well. But one of the things I can tell you is, like I said, I was fortunate enough to play college football, game recognized game, and then everybody has their superpower in life. I just believe that. Some people are fast. Some people are the size of Shaq, right? Some people are Usain Bolt fast. Some people have a 45-inch vertical. For me, I can just identify talent. If I can be around a player long enough and see them in certain situations, then I can identify them right then and there, and I can tell you what you got moving forward. Which, like I said, we look at the high school level now, and man, it's a proud moment when we did a video recently about doing a gala, and you could see like the kids that won our quarterback of the year. That particular kids that were on the stage that year, it was Luke Nickel, Julian Lewis, R.J. Johnson, E.J. Colson, and it was one more kid. And I think that that year, Jeremy Helinski won Offensive Player of the Year that year, and Aaron Nolan won. I think he won Player of the Year that year. So, it's just being able to identify it, man, and moving them forward. Let the parents know, hey, man, here's the path to take, and whether they listen or don't listen, that's on them. But we give them we don't give them the blueprint necessarily, but we give them the pathway.
And then my last one, I'm gonna throw it to Jerome or Bacon for actually some questions. My last one is guys that want to come in the industry, right? They fresh out, just graduated from school. They got a pretty good resume. They want to get in this field. They want to continue to grow and go up. We've had this conversation, me and you, Alex, off air. You know what I'm saying? You told me some things. You got to want it or not. You got to be disciplined. But what advice would you just give guys that want to come in and kind of, make their stamp and kind of want to grow in the industry?
Be passionate about it. Be passionate about it because you're going to run into people kind of like me sometimes that are old dinosaurs and say, hey, you didn't play football or whatever, college level or whatever, right? But that's not true. You can be an evaluator whether you played or not. If you're dedicated to the game and you want to learn it, then you can do this thing. But I would say be passionate about it. Be dedicated to your craft. Stay away from the foolishness and foolish people. Unfortunately, in high school, there's a lot of people in there like that. When you get into college football, you don't have as much because there's too much money being thrown around. So they ain't about to let you mess them up. But the high school level, you still got people that are still trying to attach themselves to these kids, and they might necessarily know exactly what to do. But and just always do what you say you're gonna do, man. Under promise and over deliver. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my first couple years, Frank Ski show, I did it for free, and I was the first man. Every time he said, Alex, I want you on the show, I was there. He could have called me that morning. I was on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I drove down there. I was early, and I would sit around and just watch him. You know what I'm saying? Because you can learn from the greats, and if you get a chance, man, get you a mentor. somehow, some way, get you a mentor and just learn from him. Just learn from him, because the things they know will teach you a lot. Now, I wasn't as fortunate to have a mentor when I came in the game. There were some guys in the industry, and they didn't want to teach me nothing. They kind of pushed me to the side. You know what I'm saying? That's okay. I understand that. It's what it was, right? But Frank Ski taught me a lot. Sam Crenshaw taught me a lot. When it came to recruiting game, nobody taught me anything. And then it took a guy, I want to say his name right now, Joe Winden. Joe Winden was the guy that he took me under his wing, and although I knew how to evaluate talent, I knew the nuances of it that I thought I did, but he really, really broke it down to me, where he also helped perfect my formula. And like I said, after that, man, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. And I do believe in my heart that, if you do those things, I feel I'm one of the best in the industry at identifying talent, if not the best. And, if you do those things, you'll be able to maximize exactly who you are.
Plain and simple, just like that. I'm gonna throw it to y'all boys for more questions. And that's an eloquent answer, man.
Hey Alex, me, I'm new to Georgia, and I'm moving down from New Jersey, and
I thought you were gonna say Utah for a second.
Not Utah, no.
How is that?
New Jersey, New Jersey. I'm from Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy, but I learned about you very early on coming down here. You actually covered one of my business partners, LaMarcus Bailey. Now, he went to Mercer, and then so he told me all about you. And since I've been down here, I've seen the growth from you. Where you started, where you came from the time I came down here to now. It's a huge gap, it's a huge difference. So my question basically is, when did you know that I got something going here? Because again, you've been in this game for a long time. When Marcus is a kid, you recruit him and looking at him. So how did you know I got something here? And even when you started, you can be going to different heights. When did you realize this is gonna rock?
Well, I think that so like I said, when I first started, it was a whole bunch of us. We were all together, and everybody kind of fell off. But obviously everybody knows my son, Caden. He was just born. I had to figure it out, man. So I was motivated by life, right? And then as time went on, I was motivated by passion. I was never motivated by money. As crazy as that sounds, it never motivated me, not one time. And after I was motivated by passion, then I was motivated by my calling. And once I got to that point right there where I was motivated by my calling, that's kind of when you're doing something, and like I said, you realize, okay, I have a voice. I realize that what I say impacts people, and what I'm saying, people are listening to, and all those kind of things. And time would go on, and I would get frustrated by some things, because you get people that steal your ideas and all kind of stuff like that, and that's part of business. That's life. But once we identified Trevor, so Trevor was 8th grader, and we said, okay, I'm about to do these rankings. You know what I'm saying? And I remember doing them, and I went there. IMG still had their thing. And I went down to Florida, and Scout.com was still a thing back then. And the dude laughed in my face. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he was rough with it. I think his name was Kennedy or something like that. I can't remember. Was it Scott Kennedy? I hope that's his name. So, but yeah, man. And the crazy part was, the year before that, I had stood up there with him up top in one of the towers, and we had talked football the whole entire time. So he remembered who I was, but I was like, yo, I got an 8th grader and this. He was like, oh man, you can't rate 8th graders. I said, yes, I can. I said, I know what I see. And Trevor goes on to do great things, and that obviously helped us a whole lot. And the next kid I had coming right behind him was Trayvon. And I found Trayvon down in the sticks, down in Thomaston, Upsally. And I knew how special he was because he was the biggest, baddest, most athletic thing I'd ever seen. Ever seen. And, again, the package. Think about the package now. Seeing a package move that big. And, we knew how good he can be and his work ethic. His dad was a policeman, I think, at the time. So we knew that work ethic was going to be there. And he just kept developing. So then we hit 2 number ones back to back. And within that same time, Ant-Man gets drafted number 1. Ant-Man won a whole bunch of awards for us when he was young, when he was playing football. And then Scoop gets picked number 2. Scoop won a couple of awards for us when he was playing at Cal. You know what I'm saying? Cal Youth Football Program. So I say all those things to say that when you start to identify talent the right way, you start to get your confidence. And that's really what it was for me. My confidence kept growing because those guys that would tell me no at the beginning, all of a sudden they wanted to be on the show. They wanted to hang out. They wanted to take pictures in public. I said, oh, okay. And I never got mad because I understood where they were coming from. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want me to pass them by. So you have to understand where they're coming from. And I did. So I never was angry at them by no means. I got what it was. And so again, to go back to say, when did I know? It was a multitude of things. And every year it gave me more and more confidence. Every year when I first did my first gala and we sold it out and we were at Piedmont Park, Park Tavern. We were there, sold out the little top part. And then we grew some more and we sold out the art center. Then we sold out the church, the big mega church, and then we sold out the Hall of Fame. And the Hall of Fame couldn't hold us. They didn't have enough room. And then we sold out the Georgia Aquarium. And recently, Georgia Aquarium didn't have any room. We had to turn people away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like that. And that's how we knew. We knew we had something special. And then, like I said, you start seeing people start, biting your stuff. Then you're like, wow, I've really made it. Like, these people are literally biting us like literally word for word for what I do. So that's when you got something special. You're brewing. And then this year, for me to hire Coach Downs, that meant a lot to me because his sons won awards for me. And so for him to believe so much in our product that he left college to come work with us meant the world to me.
Definitely, man. That's awesome. Now, like I said, I'm from Jersey, so coming down here, learning about Georgia football, and you had the whole time. What is it about Georgia football? Because like from an outside perspective, I'm looking at Georgia's talent and I'm just like, why do nobody like nationally really rank you guys in like the top 3? It's always Cali's or Florida's or Texas, and I get it, bigger, a little bit bigger than us as well. But like, what is it about Georgia's talent? Because like, I think pound for pound, Georgia got the best talent. So, in your perspective, what is it about?
Yeah. So it took some time, man, because you got to remember when these camp circuits were doing things, they had to go off of where their money was, and so they, of course, they're going to say California, Texas, Florida. Why wouldn't they? I would say it too. That's where your big money comes from. And so that's where their viewership would come from. So that's what they had to cater to. And for me, like I said, when I started going out to the games and I'm sitting there telling you, no, that kid you talking about, okay, I understand where you're coming from. He did well at your camp. I get that. I don't want to take nothing away from that kid. However, I can tell you what the other kid did on Friday night. And he liked that. You know what I'm saying? This is a kid that can go into your program and produce for you day one, be a contributor. You get enough of those right, people start listening. And then we started doing the college trips, taking kids everywhere and all kind of stuff like that. And our notoriety just rose with Georgia football. And so now if you look at it, people argue that Georgia football is right up there with Florida, Texas, and California, if not surpass them, because if you look at our impact, that's what I always say, look at our impact. When Georgia won a national championship, 14 out of 22 starters from Georgia. Kirby said that at the gala himself, right? So you had that. Our high school, we had the number 1 player with Caleb Downs and with Julian Lewis. So we got the senior covered and we got the freshman covered. And then with youth football, all those little national championships, we're winning them all. You know what I'm saying? So it just needed to be somebody like truthfully somebody like me that would come in and say, okay, here's what we got. Let's get the proper exposure. And the proper exposure doesn't mean you play in this tournament, whatever, man. That's crap. The proper exposure is get these kids on college campuses, let these coaches see them, see what they can do. Then they're going to come back down for spring football, take a look at them, and now offers are coming. Offers are coming. And if you look back, when you start looking at 8th graders getting offered going into high school, we continuously have the most because we know how to get them out there.
I agree. My last question for you, and I'm to kick it off the bacon. I've seen. Actually, we have a comment in here real quick before I get to my question. Hey, I just saw that had a game.
Let's see what you guys say. Hey, I just had a game. Okay, hey man, hey, good for you, Jazz.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Hey, man. Send us some DM us. You got some film and stuff like that. Let us see it, man. We can check it out. But Alex, obviously, last off season, I'm pretty sure you're gonna do even more this year. But last off season, you was at plenty of like kids committee. A lot of them, a lot of commitment parties, and I noticed that, and that was one of the biggest things I noticed with you, that you had a lot of good relationships with a lot of these players for years. So tell me how that is for you to get these relationships, not only just have a relationship with these kids, but sustain that relationship that you have with these players.
Because it's family. When it's family, it's easy. My dad said something when he was alive. He said, you're my son. And so if you walk in this house and you go into my refrigerator, you can get whatever you want. You're my son. You know what I'm saying? He said, but when your friends come in this house, they don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're not family. They don't need to do that. Unless we give some time, we get to know them. And then we can bring them into our family. So I think that's the same thing for me, man. Eventually I'm family to these people. And I take it very seriously. I'm not out here acting a fool and doing all kind of crazy stuff like that. And, I don't know. I don't want to go down that road, because if I say stuff, people won't get offended. But what I'm saying is that these parents know they can trust me. These parents know I'm the right guy for them. And these kids know that whether you become what you think you will become in football or not, I still rock with you, man. I got kids working for me now that played, in the Born Creek system. Jemias is a brand new one. Jemias is real popular. Played at Grayson. Finished up at Grayson. He finished up at Grayson, went to state at Grayson, went to South Carolina, was an All-American, and then left, went to Georgia State, was all conference as a running back. He's Jemias Williams. He's with us now, and when these different influence look at us, they rock with us because they understand that this is as authentic as you can be, but also you can still be yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I think different social media influencers rock with us. We just had K Howe on not too long ago. But no, I think that's what it is, man, when it comes to those commitments. It's just family. And they know no matter what, I don't care where they go. I really don't. I tell them every time, don't tell me where you're going. I want to find out like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like one time you're like, hey man, I'm going, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. I don't want to know. That again, that's why y'all see my surprise look every time. It's not an act. I really have no clue where they're going. So when you do something like that, and people know that you're genuine, they know that you're not there for the fake, and they know that, look, if it all fails, Alex is still going to be here. You hit that transfer portal, we'll do what we can to get you somewhere else. I'll call another school. We'll do all we can for you. Now, I might not be able to make it happen, but I'm going to try. I think that's what it is. It's family.
Yeah, I like it, man. All right, go ahead, Bacon.
All right, what's going on, big time? I just want to say, Appreciate you coming in, taking time out your busy day, man. Come in on such shortness of breath to come bestow us with this wisdom.
All good, man. All good. All good.
For sure. But I just want to ask you about you've been in the game for a while. Obviously, cameras, content are new on the scene. So what have you kind of seen in the new age of journalism that you have kind of put into what you do, man? How is it valuable?
New age. I think y'all do a great job. I try to talk to some of the new ones that come out there. They come out there smelling like weed and all kind of stuff like that, which I get it. I don't judge nobody, man. If you want to burn one, that's cool. But just don't do it out here, right? Just don't do it on your way to the game. Do it on the car back home. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all fun and games, but it ain't cool because you're around somebody's child out here. And so I think y'all do a good job. There's some I'm really trying to talk to so they can get right. But at the end of the day, man, as long as they're professional, hardworking, and they have an end game, because you can't just be out here doing content. You're going to go broke, and you're going to be unhappy. And that girl you're trying to date, she going to only stay around for so long now. So women like winners. I'm just telling you. She's going to stay around for so long. So you need to start winning somewhere in life. But
you talking to Bacon right now.
Hey,
Hey,
Bacon working though. Bacon working.
Yeah.
Bacon will go to work and then come meet me up at the station. You know what I'm saying? Bacon will go to work like, yo, I can do this game tonight. Okay, cool. Say let's do it then. Yeah, but that's I think that's the only thing that's worried me. I haven't seen as much work ethic, right? But then again, sometimes because they have a safety net, you can be that way. But when you ain't got no safety net, like the last person I saw come in here and crush it was Smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth crushed it. Me and Smooth talked, and I actually wanted Smooth to come work with me, but Smooth wanted to do his own thing, which is cool, no problem. And Smooth is now transitioning to doing corporate work and all that kind of stuff. But Smooth is another one that he was not going to be here long. You know what I'm saying? Be here long for what, man? You better get in, get what you can out of this game, and put yourself into a situation where you can feed your family, and so you can live a nice life. You can have a nice car. You can have a nice house. And you ain't got to be, old and bitter talking about, oh, man, nobody ever gave me a chance. Well, you didn't give yourself a chance, So I think that's really the thing I would say to the new content creators, to the new guys coming in the game, what I think about them. So I do think they're very, very talented, though. They're more talented than I ever was. Ever. I can never do anything. The way y'all do these videos now, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can hire somebody, but I can't do it. But no, I'm amazed at what they can do. I love what they can do. But it's just certain things they got to learn. And it's not about being cool or trying to be liked by the players, right? It's about, if you do your job, the player's going to like you regardless. Do your job. You know what I'm saying? They'll rock like winners. When I say game recognize game, players recognize players, excellence will recognize excellence. It'll gravitate towards it. You'll be fine, But the unprofessionalism, not doing the stuff, not being on time, not doing what's asked, over promising, under delivering, those things, hold those people back. But other than that, man, like I said, I love where everything's headed. I do. And the ones that are going to be special, they'll separate themselves. They will. Just like y'all three are doing. You separate yourself eventually. And you look back, you'll see them out the game 3 years down the road, and then you won't see them no more. They'll all come and go.
Sure. Kind of take you back a little bit once again to the early days, man. You was getting out the mud, probably around the time you was going to see Tom Jordan, man. You told me about where, early on, what I'm saying, you thought about, what I'm saying, it's gym memberships. If you had to go do the shower thing and gym membership, so just kind of when you're in that mindset of you got life pressure, what I'm saying, you got a child on the way, what I'm saying, how how'd you like lock in, like, and you know what I'm saying? Did you schedule your days out? I'm saying just kind of what did you do?
Yeah, man. So Frank Ski, not Tom Joyner. It's okay.
Yeah, my bad.
All good. All good. Tom Joyner just one step ahead of that. One step ahead of that. All good. All good. But no, man. So what I would do is I'd have my son with me. So depending how it would go down is I get up in the morning, I make sure I get him ready. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget how this worked. So I would figure out a way where I would be able to come back by the house like right around midday so he can use the bathroom, do all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I would cover like 1 or 2 games in the morning, probably like the Cab County area. That's where I stayed at the time. So I cover 1 or 2 games, like a youth football game, like a 5-year-old, then a middle school game, because the middle school games in the morning as well, like on Saturdays. Do that, come back by the house, do what he need to do. Then I can hit maybe a Gwinnett game, some other game. I might stay till halftime. You know what I'm saying? Go to Cobb County, stay till halftime. Hit his grandma's house, stay there for a second, and then hit a night game with the 12-year-old 8th graders. You know what I'm saying? Because I always knew where the good games were going to be. So I kind of planned out my day on Thursday. And that's what I would do. And I would just make it work, man. You talking about the showers at the gym. So shoot, man. Oh my goodness. If I didn't have Champ just say be with grandma or something like that, then I would make sure to roll by the gym and I could take a shower and freshen up. You know what I'm saying? And grab some water or something like that. Because again, I didn't have the money like that. I had to use the money for gas money and cover the games. But it was worth it to me. And I worked it for a long time. Not like that, but for that first 2 years, it was like that. And, eventually, you put 10,000 hours into anything, greatness should come out of it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was a sacrifice. And it's funny because not many people ask me about that. That was a good question, Bacon. For me, it was a sacrifice, but I always knew where I was going to be at the end of the day. Like I really, really did. I knew in my heart, like, I got something special. I feel it. I know it's there. People put me on the radio, put me on TV. They wouldn't do this if I wasn't that good. And another answer to your question, Jay, you asked me when another time I knew I was special. We were doing 11 Alive, and I never knew when my segment came on. Never knew, right? Because we were just turning in, and that was that. This is like 9-10 years ago. So I'm driving into the station because I was finally able to see the segment. This is like year 2, year 3. I still had never seen my segments, right? I always saw them on TV when they did the reruns. So I'm driving into the station, check it out. And we were the first thing that came on. We were the first highlight that came on. And everybody knows that if you're the first highlight that comes on, you the guy. You the guy. It's no different than track. Track, if you that anchor, if you that first leg or that anchor, you got to be the guy. First leg and anchor, that's who got to get off. You know what I'm saying? So once I knew that, then that next year they said, hey, can we get a couple of your All-American jerseys? Cool. They were hanging up my All-American jerseys on the show, on the set of the show. And I said, oh, I got something. Then I had to ask a question, hey, how much are our advertising going? Nobody would tell me that. Okay, cool. I got it. I know where we at. Say less. I know where we at. So again, that's how, to go back to your answer, that was one of the ways I knew. But to answer your question, Bacon, yeah, that was a very real thing, man. I had a son, and I told you, that was my motivator at the very beginning, being a father, being able to provide for my son. So that was my motivator. And then after time went on, I was able to provide. Like I said, then the passion kicked in. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's answer your question.
For sure. Kind of piggybacking off that again. Speak a little bit about your manifestation process. Do you believe in manifestation? I know, and allude to this as well. Sometimes in our manifestation process, we can get caught up with over pressing on the manifestation. So sometimes it can dilute our process. But just what do you think about that?
I'm probably a little different. I'm probably not gonna give the answer that people are probably used to hearing these days about manifestation. If you think it, you can achieve it. I think that's crap, personally. I think you better write a plan down and get to work in it. You know what I'm saying? Because here's what I do know for sure. What God has for you is for you. Yes. But what God has for the universe is for the universe. Born to Compete was going to be created no matter what, whether it was me or somebody else. So you better get to work in the idea that God planted into you. You know what I'm saying? So it can be yours. It can be your idea. You're right. Can't nobody have what's yours, what He's ordained you to do. That is going to be yours. But if you sit on it, it's going to be somebody else because it needs to be out there in the world. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got a million smartphones, right? You got a whole bunch of laptops. You got, if you look across this world, there's probably about 20 more Najis. There's 20 more Bacons, 20 more Jeromes. I promise you. And they're just as good as you guys are. Whoever takes advantage of that and gets through that door first is going to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? But your path is going to be your path. So what I say is this: when it comes to manifesting what you want, yes, I can daydream. Yes, I do visualize it and I see it and all those different things. I try to take a little time to say, okay, slow down. Let's properly get this right. But at the end of the day, I write down my plan. I have a big board right here. It's funny, I was just looking at it. I got a big board here and I got a big board here of all my stuff on there. And our stuff planned out for 20, this one's 20, 24, 25, and 26. So we got that planned out. We're ready to roll. You know what I'm saying? And spend a lot of time around these recruiting departments, everything like that. If you ever go into their recruiting department and you actually see everything mapped out, they got 3 years ahead. You go to some of these big computer tech companies, they got things almost 20 years ahead. I'm not lying to you. They really do. So if they believe in hard work and planning, then we should as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I told my son, there's a certain weight he wants to be at this fall. Okay, let's write down how we need to wake up, how we need to eat. What do we need to do to achieve this goal? It's not going to come to us just by thinking happy thoughts. You know what I'm saying? And tickling ourselves and feeling good. It's just not. You got to go ahead and work that thing. Now, unless you 6'6", 310 pounds, everybody else better get to work.
That's real. That's real, man. I appreciate that. We going to a lot of camps this off season, man. So kind of just, if you could bless with some advice on like kind of how to navigate it. You know what I'm saying? What would you kind of look for? Obviously, look at the player, build relationships. What would you do?
All right. First thing I would do is plug myself. We got our showcase camp coming up April the 7th. And we're excited, man. Our camps always do pretty well. But this year, we're going to have multiple camps. We're going to Charlotte this year. We're going to Savannah this year. We're kind of spreading out. And, we're going to take that proverbial leap so we can grow this thing 3 years down the road, right? And it's not because I feel we can do a better camp. I feel we are the best people to be associated with. That's a big difference, right? There's no other camp that's going to have you in a camp and come back and say, hey, come on this college trip with us. Not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? There's no other camp that's going to really identify you and say, okay, hey, how do we push all these guys out there? So it's not going to be for just the top, 10% of the kids at the camp. No, we want to try to help all of them the best we can. You know what I'm saying? That's why we now have recruiting services headed up by Coach Downs. So not only the Power 5 guys and all of them, G5 guys, man, they're going to be fine. But how do we take care of the rest of them? You know what I'm saying? So now, with that being said, how to navigate these camps. I'm big on going to college camps. I'm big on it. Or if you don't go to a college camp, then you need to go to a camp that somebody there is very well connected, extremely well connected, or go to a camp where there are a lot of writers at. Now, you can call Bacon, you can call Najee, you can call Jerome, and you can ask them or text them, send them a message on whatever social media platform and say, hey, are you going to be at this camp? I heard you're going to be there. And they'll tell you yes or no. So you need to know these things if you're going to spend, whether it's $40, whether it's $100, whether it's $300, you need to know what you're spending and what you're getting yourself into. So those would be the things I would say. Be somewhere where they can offer you a scholarship, or be somewhere where they can give you the right path, or be somewhere where they can give you the proper exposure that you're looking for. And in the world of high school sports, and we can say middle school sports as well, the proper exposure, writing articles, that does go hand in hand with the word exposure, to kind of bring light to what you got going on as an athlete.
Great answer. And then got a last question. I got to end it off with the little man. Y'all moving to Creekside this year, man. So just kind of what went into that process and why y'all like Creekside and Coach Dixon.
You know what, man? I tell you what. First off, he loved Parkview a lot, and it was amazing. But when we decided to go ahead and make our bona fide move, I'm sorry. That was too funny. I mean, hey, but hey, I've been around the rules thing for a long time, so I know how this thing goes, man. But no, we decided to make that move, man. We made it for various reasons, from a family standpoint. But the school district we decided to move into was the Creekside School District, and right now it's just been a great fit for him. You know what I'm saying? He's done well. He's taken to the coaching well. He's taken to the team well. Everybody knows what he's trying to bring to the table. He knows what they're trying to bring to the table. They're a team that, recently went to the state championship game. So they have high expectations. The standards are high. Expectations are high. The work ethic is brutal. And that's how it's supposed to be. I love the principle there. The demands on the grades for the conduct of the kids and for the attention to academics is fantastic. I don't know why they ever got a bad rep. That woman don't play. I'm talking about, boy, she tough. She tough, man. And I wouldn't have it no other way, because academically he's been great. And then athletically, Coach Dixon, man, he gonna make sure them boys work. And that's one of the things, just me being in the industry, man. Coach Dixon has that reputation that, he relates to his players very in a more a now type of way, right? A current type of way. Mm-hmm. But he's old school in his work ethic, and he's not changing. So you're going to hit them weights, you're going to work hard, and there's going to be no substitute for that. So I love how they get after it. I love what they're doing, and I'm excited for them, man. Then when I look around, you got Dylan Vickerson at receiver. He's a monster. He was out last year, but people are going to see why he's a top. He should be a top 10 receiver in the country. People are going to see that this year. Corey Blair, phenomenal. He's a youth football legend, but he's now 6'2", 196, and just ran a 4.51 at the VTO camp. So he's going to have his opportunity to show what he can do. Zach Carter, former quarterback turned receiver, about 6'2" and a half, and playing with Hustle Inc., really kind of getting the nuances of that receiver thing. He's going to be a kid that you're going to hear about going probably to a smaller college that's going to level up, and he's probably going to be a pro one day. I just think he's that athletically gifted. He might not be the fastest thing out there, but all the other athletic abilities that you need, he'll have. He'll probably be a low, 4.55 guy, 4.55, 4.6 guy, but he'll have a 38-inch vertical and high point the ball. And those guys, they'll play 10 years in the league. You know what I'm saying? You got Eric Paul, fast guy, fast guy. Offensive line, they're getting together. And that whole secondary coached by Coach McGrary. Look, man, not too many people have much confidence in their players to play man all game. And I'm talking about 1, 0, that. They playing that. And the only reason they play 3 sometimes just to give them a break. Come on, man. That's getting after it. So I'm excited to see what the team's going to do, and excited to see the parents, student body, and fan base support those boys and cheer those boys on. It's going to be like that in the swamp. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be
Most
like
definitely.
that. Yeah.
And then national opponent. Who what's the big opponent y'all are playing?
I can't remember. So I think you're talking about DeSoto though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's two of them. It's two of them. They got the DeSoto team. Well, so the 3 games off the rip are just fantastic for Creekside. I think it's fantastic because what other way you want to get it? You want to get recognized. You want to be known. You want to get some offers. You want this and this and that. Hey man, you got to knock on the bullet door. That's the only way these things happen. So they got Rome first, which Rome is well coached, always fantastic, great feeder. Coach Smith did a great job with the feeder over there. The head coach over there at Rome is amazing as well. So their boys are going to be ready to play, and that's going to be on that's the Corky Kell game on that Friday night. What better way, right? The true opening night of Corky Kell, that Friday night. And then so that's going to be packed. Rome's going to pack the house. Bullies on Broadway. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And then you're going to have I can't remember the team out of South Carolina, but you got a team out of South Carolina that's won state last year. And then, of course, you got DeSoto, Texas, which is as good as they come. And hats off to Creekside. They played Modern Day last year. Nobody wanted to play them. They took it on the chin, but you saw they made it to the state championship game. So you go out here against DeSoto, and you go out here and compete and see what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, look, Achilles went down. They said Achilles was the strongest man out there. But Achilles had one little weak spot. It was within his name. You know what I'm saying? And he eventually went down. So somebody got to beat the bully. If it's you, then let's go.
Well, that wrapped up for me, man. I'm going to throw it back to Naj, you know what I'm saying? Let them take us out.
No doubt. Well, I wanna ask too. Like a point we haven't brought up tonight is just we are all black men, right? For the most part, what I believe, but we're all black men, right?
See, Najee, see, yes.
So I love how we all on this stage, man, and we are doing our own thing, but just kind of talk about that, Alex, like being black. And I already told you how I feel like you're kind of, in a way to me, just like kind of a mentor, just somebody I can lean on and advice. I can ask different questions and stuff too, and I can get the real, not the fake, the real from it. But just talk about, man, being black in this industry and kind of trying to be a pioneer and just trying to, set the right example, as you've been alluding to all night, just for those that want to come after you.
Yeah. So when I got in it, the TV guys were Sam Crenshaw and Gil Tyree. Those are the TV guys. And this is a true story. And I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again publicly another day. And they crushed me almost. Gil Tyree was leaving PBS. GPB, I'm sorry. Leaving GPB. Gil Tyree walked me into the station. John Freeman was still there at the time. And the guy that's over, I don't think he's over it no more. He's gone. He should have been gone. Gil Tyree said, hire this guy. He's the next big thing. Hire him. And the guy, I guess because of whatever reason, he calls me back a couple of days later and said, hey, man, most of our viewership, is white. And he said, I don't think that you would be a great fit for what we want to do. This was his exact words. And it crushed me because I remember saying on the phone, almost like desperately begging. I said, football's football. I said, I think it would be fine. And he was just like, no, I'm sorry. It wouldn't be a good fit. So that was what it was. And we went our separate ways. But for me, it was just about the work. And I understood Sam Crenshaw endorsed me. Gil Tyree endorsed me. Frank Ski, even though he wasn't in sports, was letting me be on his show. You know what I'm saying? And I said to myself, okay, I have to uphold myself a certain way, a certain standard. I can't be out here getting in trouble or different things like this. I got to do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? As hard as it may be. And there was different guys that were of different color. And I reached out to them trying to get their help. And they didn't want to help. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, I'm on my own. Here we go. And I worked it. And I worked it. And I worked it. And I met some amazing people. And along the way, Thomas Goodhue at that particular time was at 11 Alive. Jen, I can't remember Jen's last name, but Jen was the one that gave my first opportunity at 11 Alive as well. Then I met Sam Crenshaw. But you meet people along the way and along the road. And for you guys, I was already able to kind of not blaze that trail, but get it to a certain point where it's acceptable. You can wear your hat. You can talk with players. You can be you. You don't have to have this corny voice or anything like that and sound like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking real. We all know what we're talking about here. We all get what I'm saying. You can be you, and that's okay, you know? And once that became accepted, and once people saw that I was doing the commitments, I was having players on my show. When I went into the, I don't do it no more. Obviously, I'm older now, but when I go to the games, the student section, I jump into the student section, and we were having a great time jumping around in the student section, all that kind of stuff. And once they saw, like, wow, this guy really has control of everywhere he's at. He's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And so my job was not only do that, but as y'all came to me, and I noticed y'all were coming to me, whether it was Dukes or Jeremy Johnson or you guys or whoever. You know what I'm saying? There was another guy, but he started acting stupid, so I ain't gonna say his name. But as all y'all came to me, I was like, okay, you know what? I have more of a responsibility. Let me give y'all game and how this thing moves. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what you can say, what you can't say. Let me tell you how you have to deliver every single time. Every time Najee's on that camera, deliver Najee. You know what I'm saying? Every single time. And he does a fantastic job. Every time y'all two are out record or delivering content on players, Jerome and Bacon, deliver. You know what I'm saying? But make it more about the work than yourself. Because once you make it about the work, people can't deny the work. That's the whole thing. You can deny the person. You can deny the person all day long. But the work, people always hire work. And so once the work is good enough, they see past everything and you move through it. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it was about everything I brought to the table. Everything I brought to the table, and at a certain point, it couldn't be denied. And so that's how I was personally able to break through those certain barriers and certain walls. Because one thing I learned, Deion did this for me when I was young. He took me on his Hall of Fame trip. Just like the famous Hall of Fame trip he did. And something I noticed. You go in front of the curtain, all the players are black. Every last one of them, right? I think it was a couple of white guys. And I'm standing next to Deion. Deion's about to go out. Well, no, excuse me. Let me back up a little bit. He says, Alex, do you notice something? And he was always trying to teach me when I was there. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Shannon Sharp's right there. You know, Michael Irvin. Like, I mean, what are you trying to tell me?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And he said, look in front of the curtain, look behind the curtain. I look in front of the curtain again, look behind the curtain. It ain't dawned on me yet. I look in front of the curtain, look behind the curtain. Then I look behind the curtain again. John Elway, Dave Snyder, Jerry Jones. Everybody else was white. Everybody was white except the one black guy. He was the vice president at that time, I think. He had white hair. I can't remember his name. Great guy. But that was it. And so it lets you know that the football standpoint, there's a lot of amazing people. We might be on camera. We might be playing the game. But when it comes to actually making those decisions, it's just not a lot of us. So understand that it's nothing that they're doing wrong by no means. People just hire off comfort or they hire off the work. So you have to let the work be the work. You know what I'm saying? And so for you guys, I love what you guys do. I love what you guys work. I like this right here. I like the podcast you got going on. I hope you keep it going, because if you work at it a year down the road, or it might be faster, 2 years down the road, whatever, the work will take care of itself. And you'll tweak it. You'll get it better. You'll have more graphics. You know what I'm saying? Jay's camera won't lag. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. All these things.
I thought it coming. I thought it coming.
Yeah. All these things y'all will take care of over time. But if you work in it, it'll be cool. And then the next generation sees you and they're like, wow, I want to rock with those guys, because those guys talk like me. Those guys look like me. Those guys understand me. And it doesn't become a necessarily a color thing or relatability thing. but it becomes a comfort thing. So you have your Tate Ratledge. You have your, I'll put it this way. You have your guys from all extreme, whether it is blue or whether it is red or whether it's something in the middle, they all rock with you because of the work.
Simple as that. Well, a couple more, man. We'll let you get out of here. One, I want to ask, without revealing your formula or too much about prospects you real high on, just throw a couple prospects from some of these classes, man, that we should keep an eye on. Not necessarily, like you said, the Power 5 or Group 5 or high guys we know, but maybe some underrated guys, 26, 27, 28, 29. What you got for us?
Did we already mention the last B2C Tournament Award winners are all number one players in the state? Did we mention that already? KJ Bolden, Julian Lewis, Tyler Atkinson.
Yep.
Okay. I just having fun, guys. I think David Jacobs is the next big thing. We're gonna have him as our number one ranked player for the class 27. It's not a big secret. And then we'll have that guy out of the kid out of I think Savannah Christian. The defense end out of Savannah Christian will probably be number 2.
LaDamian Guyton.
What's his name?
LaDamian Guyton.
Yeah. So we'll have him number 2. But as far as the 28, one player of the year this year. Oh, the Tournament Award kid, the Casey Gray,
shout out to LGTV, sorry.
LGTV, yeah. What's that kid's name? Casey Barner out of John Lewis Invictus. He gives me the feeling of Caleb Downs. I ain't lying to you. Hey, man, he like that. He's like that. Played in the city of Atlanta. Special player. Got that dog in him. I hope he goes to the right school. He'll be a top 10 player in the country. If he doesn't, he'll still excel because he's blessed. He's anointed. But it's going to be a little bit harder road for him. We got some kids, man. The defensive line is amazing. I got another kid too, Kelvin Johnson. He won our Athlete of the Year, which is sponsored by Nate Wiggins. Kelvin Johnson is a safety right now, legit 6'2". But he's every bit of 230, so he'll probably end up as a defensive end. Fantastic athlete. Aiden Apore, he's a safety. He won our Defensive Back of the Year, sponsored by who did that? Patrick Surtain, Champ Bailey. I love the picture, right? So it's Patrick Surtain, his ward, right? Champ Bailey and Zealous Hicks are in the picture with him, with Aiden Apore. Aiden Apore just, I think he placed 5th in the Nike Invitational in the 60, 6'2", legit 6'2", athletic, long, cover ground, come off that hash. He probably 9 times out of 10, because the way things are going, he'll probably be a corner. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they want their corners now. They want their corners big. So
receiver?
Yes. Well, can he be a receiver? I don't think he ain't got enough wiggle for that. He got straight line though. He got straight line. So those are some kids, man, that stand out. I like the kid Harris Turner, the quarterback at Cartersville. I like him. I think Pierce Delgado is going to be good at Walton. He's going to get a chance to learn behind Caden this year. They got another kid, Jordan, over there. So we'll see how he does. He's going to battle it out with a couple of guys. So those are guys that kind of stand out. The guy that everybody was probably highest on was Robert. I want to say his name was Robert Brown Jr. He's going to go Savannah Christian. He won our Lineman of the Year award, sponsored by Andrew Thomas, and he's that. He's that. Now, depending how he grows, will depend where he plays. So he'll probably, as of right now, they say he's going to be starting left tackle when he comes in as a freshman. Whew. So, but depending on how he grows, he'll probably slide down to guard. Kind of reminds me of Cortez Smith when Cortez was younger. Big body, very athletic, very skilled. But he's probably stronger, though, than Cortez at that moment. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see. You said 27, 28. All right. Was that 29. it? 29s. Oh, Landon G. Landon G.
Oh, yeah, he's that dude. I've seen him.
Yeah, Landon G from Milton. He is 6'3", maybe. He might also be about 6'4" now. He's probably about 6'4".
Crazy.
Good Lord, man. He loves playing offensive line. So that's what he'll be, more than likely, unless he thins out. He'll probably be a 3-tech. But I see him being an offensive lineman, a left tackle, and he'll be an anchor for years. And he'll, you know, I don't know if his parents need him to buy a house, but he'll be able to buy mom a house. His collective negotiation will be very nice. It'll be very nice. Him, to me, because Mason Short is cool. I think Juan Gasson is better because Juan Gasson is a better athlete. His comp would be more Juan Gasson because Landon is an amazing athlete. You know, I think he's multi-time state wrestling champ at Kid State. He's that deal, man. He's that deal. He's special. He's as good as they come. So those are kind of kids that stand out to me right now, just off the top of my head. I think we have one of the best quarterback classes in a long time in that 28 group. And we have our best defensive lineman out of that 28 group. 28 group, I got probably about, including the kid from Augusta, who's about 6'5" right now. We got about 10 to 11 that passed the eyeball test right now. That should be offered. We should have them all offers before they get in the 9th grade.
Sheesh. And I guess the last one, man, is just you talk about a little bit about what you got this summer. I know you talked about the camp, April 7th, North Carolina Christian. I also seen, though, you didn't talk about, I think you got one in July. It's like a preseason tournament or preseason. Talk about that, man.
We haven't done preseason tournaments in a while, so we're bringing that back. So we'll have the preseason tournament for the kids, so they'll have a good time. And then also too, we got our 7-on-7 we're doing with the high schools. That'll be in June. So really just adding a lot more events this year that we didn't quite have because we've been so focused on the media side. But now we're at a point now we can do the events and do them right. And these are things we've always had, but now we're in position financially to do more of them. You know what I'm saying? So we'll do probably about 3 to 4 7-on-7s for high school. Then we have our Friday Night Lights 7-on-7 that's going on this weekend. It's starting. That's a couple of weeks. It'll last for a couple of weeks. That's on the Friday nights. And then we'll have our G7 League that's pretty popular. Those are on Saturdays. So one's in Gwinnett County, one's up by Norcott Christian. So we got pretty much everything covered, man. We're really doing a lot more this year. And then with the media stuff, man, we got Austin Butler. He's fantastic for us. We just welcomed Kay Howe to the family. Of course, Jemias Williams just got welcomed to the family. And my boy, oh, God, he's going to kill me. What is his name? Oh, QB Marcus.
We had him on the podcast today.
Yeah. Welcoming Marcus to the family. So, you know, man, everything's looking good, man. Everything's looking good.
Jerome, you got any more questions before I close this out?
Yeah, I got 2 more things real quick, and I won't make it too long. But Alex, I just came down to Georgia, seen all your stuff, and kind of followed you. And then I think it was last year you started up the Deuce recruiting. I believe that was last year, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, and what's the difference between Born to Compete and Deuce recruiting, and how that kind of came about.
We can focus on the rankings. You know, we were able to hire staff that can do that, and that is led up by Coach Gary Downs. Coach Gary Downs, former player, obviously he's a parent. You've seen him, his kids, and also too, he was recently a college coach, working in the recruiting department. So it's two ways that it helps. It helps from a ranking of the player, so we can identify them properly, and we can move forward rather than just be me. And also too, it helps from a recruiting side because now we've added the recruiting element into it. And it's not about saying, okay, hey, mom, buy our service. It's about saying, you know, hey, you might not be a Power 5 guy. You might not be a G5 guy. But if you still want to play college ball and you need a little help, we're here. We're here to help you get to that point. And it just means the world to me that, you know, he decided to come on and work with us because I've already seen him literally make phone calls, scholarship right now and there. So it's been a beautiful thing, man. I mean, it just really has. It's awesome.
It's awesome, man. And this is not a question, but it's more a testament to you and how you impacted me. I think it was last summer. I was going through some stuff, and
Yeah.
I called Alex and I was like, hey man, I just need some work. I need some money on the side. Can you help me out? And you done it, and I don't think I've publicly said this or even said it to you, but I appreciate you because you run me on for a little bit, help me, with something. I worked for you for a little bit, and you got me out of that spot. So I want to commend you and thank you for that. Not only for me, for like everybody else that you've been helping, because again, I've been watching him from the background, looking at things you've done for a lot of people. So I want to thank you and appreciate you for all you've done for me and for everybody else as well.
No problem, man. I told y'all, boy, hey, boy, I was there. But one day I'll tell y'all the story, and it'll be off air. I'll tell you the story about how I really met Frank like that. I had $7 in my pocket. No, six. Because I had to spend the other dollar. I had to spend $1.10 on they had that dollar menu came out. I spent $1.10, $1.07. That's what I'm getting at $7. I spent $1.07 on the McDouble. Cheese, whatever, and I had the rest. I put in gas, but the gas I didn't have none, so it barely made me to the meeting. And I was like, "This meeting gotta work. It gotta happen." So, anyway, I've been there. So yeah, man, no problem at all, man. Any more else I can do? You do such great work. I'm so proud of you, man. You're doing great, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and then on the closing note, Alex, I want to say too, man, appreciate you so much what you do for not just us, for the kids and everything that you stand for and the brand you are yourself. But we brought you on the podcast, man. So I think it's time you get us on 11 Alive and do a show with you on your platform.
Say less. Say less. Let's go. Let's go. All three of y'all want to come through the same day?
Let's do it.
Hey, let's do it.
Look, listen. Now I'm gonna put it out there. Now, the week. Let's see, March the 27th. All three of y'all can be my guests.
Let's do it.
March 27th. On a Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday. You got to be there at 7:15 p.m. All three of y'all are my guests. You know what I'm saying?
You guys send us to Addy though.
I see. Y'all got my number. I always say, if you got my number, you got me. There are people, hey man, let me get your number. No, we just don't do that number. We don't do that. You seriously tell me no, I can have your number. I meant every word of it. I meant every word. But anyway, let's get y'all on the show. March 27th. We got you. Say less. That's easy.
Let's do it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I had to throw that out there, man. I had to get us all on
that. Hey, man, closed mouth don't get fed, man.
That's 100.
Shot.
That's 100.
Let's go. Yeah, man. So yeah, I see y'all March 27th. And how do y'all close y'all? Am I to close or y'all got more stuff to talk about? What do y'all got to talk about?
More stuff to talk about.
Okay, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna leave it like this. Hey man, Alex Born to Compete, NBC 11 Alive, Team 1-1. Hey man, I thank you guys so much for allowing me to be on here. From Najee to Jerome to my guy Bacon, man. These are guys that are the next big three things. Not only coming out of Atlanta, not only coming out of the state of Georgia, but in this country. Get to know them. They are the hottest thing coming because they are the most authentic thing coming up next.
Love it. Oh, we appreciate that.
Salute, man.
Take care, guys. See y'all later, man.
What's that, bro?
Yeah.
I love it. You got to
going up. Woo.
Man, I love that, man. Not only did he give us a lot of good stuff, but man, he really broke down, a lot of stuff that, a lot of us been going through as a Black man, as, content creators, as, people that's trying to get up there. So, there was a lot of good wisdom in there. I hope everybody enjoyed. We got a lot of viewers right now that are viewing this. So I hope every single person took something, even if it's a little bit, took something from that and take it and run with it, because that was a really, really good meeting. Shout out to Naj for getting that on here for sure, man. And that was a last minute thing. It's not even on the thumbnail right now. we literally got it last minute, but hey, we got it done. I'm glad we did. Man, that was incredible. That was incredible. Shout out to Nigel on that one.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bacon, you next. You know who you got to get to. We're talking about it all.
For sure. I'm thinking about Tink, man. I'm thinking about calling the big Tinker, man. You know what I'm saying? That's who's going through my head.
All right.
But we can talk, you know what I'm saying? But we gotta get Tink on here for sure, man.
All right. Say less. We're gonna do that. All right, man. Let's keep it rolling, man. That was a fun segment. I know we had about an hour 22. I won't keep these gentlemen too long. We got our boy Bacon got to get up early. So do Jerome. So do I. But we're gonna go ahead and just look real quick. I'm gonna start with you, Bacon.
Yeah.
You say you like this film. Wheeler, a little bit underrated. The coach has been tagging me into some stuff. I really like their running back, Josiah Allen.
Yes.
Coach Brett Cooper really talked high about him. But Wheeler, Marcus Romaine just committed to Northwestern University. Now, as you know, Bacon, that is not an easy university to get into, even if you're an athlete. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the grades. Right. You got to be top tier. But talk about what you've seen in this game that really stood out to you.
First off, I want to say, because I'm a journalist, Northwestern is one of the top journalism schools in the country. But, you know what I'm saying, Marcus Romaine, I watched this film probably 10, 15 before I got on here, man. The man can throw the football. I'm talking about on the run, putting it out in front on where his receiver could get the ball. It's got wheels. You know what I'm saying, Wheeler's a good school, smart young man, dynamic athlete, probably on 3 stars, probably a little too low, 6-foot quarterback. You can say what you want about the size. Definitely underrated in my opinion, but it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. Senior this year, right? I
believe so, yep.
Senior this year, and then onward on to the I can't remember the mascot, so Northwestern, but super dynamic, man. Checked every box, early boxes from quick film in my book.
No doubt about it, man. I mean, he's special. I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Like I said, I think they're in the region. I think Walton is still in there, but it's not going to be as strong as it was last year, you know, in my opinion. I think, you know, obviously, I think they'll have a little bit more room to run a little bit this year without Walton. I'm not going to be disrespectful when saying in the rebuild. I don't think that. I think they're reloading, but they're going to hit their couple, you know, hits and niches and things like that. They're not going to have their really, really elite offensive coordinator and Tyler Jones, who's now the head coach at Cambridge now. So it's going to look a little different for Walton. They're going to take their lumps, I think, this year, but they're going to still be cool. But I think they're going to be able to compete, and I think they'll be able to get into the postseason and, you know, maybe make a little bit of a run. I mean, we'll see, but they got some weapons over there that is coming up and on the come up, and I can't wait to see what they're able to do. Jerome, you have any input on it?
No, I don't know too much about Mr. Roman there. I want to get on and look at him a little bit more. I definitely have some kind of a little bit more assessment on him a little bit later. But I will say this: Northwestern, man, they get some sneaky guys in that program. That is a program that is well taught. They are a tough team, and you know that program always been like that. Obviously, I know about this because they are in the Big Ten. And they're a tough team. You know what I mean? They're not a team that, you know, you can just like write off. They're gonna play tough every single time. So you gotta play tough every single time when you play them. And for them to get a player of that magnitude, you know, I hear a lot of good things about Marcus Roman. So I think this is a good step for them. They had a couple of quarterbacks that came through that program that, you know, was successful and went on and went into the NFL. So, you know, it is a good program. I don't want anybody to think Northwestern isn't a good program. It is a very good program. So, you know, I'm sure Marcus knows this, and that's why he chose them for sure.
No doubt about it, man. Can't wait to see what he's able to do. And shout out to you, Marcus. We're going to continue to monitor you, man, and congrats on your commitment to Northwestern. We're going to keep it rolling. Got to talk about Hustle Inc., man. They boys have been doing their thing. Coach Ballard, he's been doing his thing. He's well known around the industry, well known with the players and the families and things like that, and the parents. But they won another 7-on-7 tournament this past weekend on the road. They got some really good talent. I love too, man. I'll say this and put this out here. I recommended a parent actually go play for Ballard. You know, or go play 7-on-7. And I'm glad to see that he's playing on the team. I don't know if he starts. I have not seen him play. But I love that, you know, he's been able to get that run with 7-on-7. I think it's really important for wide receivers, DBs, quarterbacks, running backs even, just to be able to – it's not real football, but you can get reps, and reps are important at the quarterback position. And then you play with elite talent, it's only going to make you better. Iron sharpens iron. I can't wait to talk to that kid and see the effect that it's had on him and if it was a positive effect, in his career. But they won another 7-on-7 tournament. What are you guys' thoughts? What do you think makes that program so successful on the 7-on-7 market?
Got to go with Jerome first on this one.
Yeah, Tony Ballard, he's the reason why it's successful. Not only that he brings in a great talent, not only that he brings in great coaches, but the way he cares and is passionate about his team and his players, man. On the field, he's a tough son of a gun. Every time I see him on the field, I try not to say hi to him until the game's over because he's so locked in and so focused. But he's a great guy. Every time, he always invites us to his camps and things like that as well. He's, again, he's a tough guy, but deep down, he really cares about the people that's around him and the people he surrounds himself with. We got to go to his shut him down camp a couple of years ago. He's gonna have another one this year. A 7-on-7 camp that he has down here in Georgia, and he does a really good job with that. And again, I think it's more of just the care that he has for his players, man. And but I will ask you guys this real quick before I let they can talk. Are they the best 7-on-7 team in Georgia? Because Georgia got another team that's kind of rival, they're little rivals, and that team they get a lot of talent, but I don't know. That's how egg beans.
You talking about
Couple of their games. Yes, I am. I was trying not to say their names, but but yeah. Huh?
Who's the other team?
C1N.
C1N.
Oh, y'all know I don't know the 7-on-7 circuit like that. That's why I asked.
Got you.
Yeah.
Bacon, do you think they're the best team in Georgia?
I don't know. I haven't been on the 7-on-7 circuit at all, really. So I haven't really seen them. So, but I do know, what I'm saying, the top three is probably them, C1N, and a TSF for sure. I know last year they had Mike Matthews and a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Did Juju
they had Mike Matthews? They had Juju at one point. They had KJ Bolden. They had Jalen Crawford. They was loaded last year. Loaded. Sure, and I think they got a lot of good names this year, but I feel like the big names, like the 5 stars, they don't have a lot of them this year, but they keep winning, and there's a reason for that.
Well, I'm definitely gonna hit the 7-on-7 scene.
I personally think they're the best team out there. Even with the C1Ns, and the C1Ns got 5 stars, Winnie, Jalen Bell, a guy that I really like, a couple other guys on that team, Luke Nickel. They got a lot of good teams. I still think Hustle Inc.'s team is way better. Not way better, but I think they're the best team in Georgia. I really do.
You heard it here first, folks. Don't attack him. Don't attack him. Please don't attack him.
Please don't attack me.
Well, there you go. Jerome got a strong hot take on that. I don't know. I haven't been in it. I do know I worked G7 League last year, but like I said, I wasn't even big on the tournament side. I was more so doing it as helping out staff when I was there, the camps that hosted it. But like I said, I think this year, that was just to earn extra money. But I think this year I'm definitely going to tap in more, man. Like I said, I've been telling Bacon, like you go do and get these clips from these 7-on-7s, man. If you even got a good one, like get 1 or 2 good ones, man, just throw it on that YouTube short, bro. It does money, bro. It does work. So I'm definitely gonna, as you see, flowing right up. So I'm definitely gonna try to check out some of them when I can. Try to get that rest in between too, but definitely try to see a couple more. But let's keep it rolling. We're gonna talk about Clemson. They hosted a lot of guys, left an impression, some major guys this past week. Weekend, one of their big weekends. I want to point out all the guys. Y'all let me know if I miss any. These are just the major guys, but I did write it down. So real quick. So a bunch of studs. Shout out to Luke Nickel. I'm not Luke Nickel, I'm sorry. Shout out to Luke Winston. Shout out to Will Morrison. They covered the Clemson beat. It's a lot of good content from them. But they had Micah Matthews, Dalen Upshaw from Central Alabama in Phoenix. David Sanders out of North Carolina, 5-star. Isaiah Gibson, we got to talk to him. Christian Garrett out of Prince Avenue Christian. Tay Harris out of Cedartown. Caleb Lanier out of Decatur. Brody McWhorter out of Cass. Nayland Scott out of Kennesaw Mountain. Bryce Perry Wright out of Buford, Dorian Barney out of Peachtree Ridge, Samari Smoke Matthews out of North Carolina, Zealous Hicks, from Carrollton, and then Max Brown, the only freshman on campus from Jefferson. Those are some of the major guys. They have more, obviously, but those are the major guys.
Right.
A lot of big names right there, man. I think Clemson, Clemson had a down year last year, but a lot of people don't. I don't think people understand how rich that tradition and that culture in that school is. Debo is a really good recruiter down there. Debo Swanee. I think I say his name right. I'll be messing up people's names.
Sweeney.
Sweeney. Sorry, Sweeney. Debo Sweeney.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo. There you go. Dabo. That was Sweeney.
Dabo.
But I think they can recruit, man, and again, for them to get a guy, their quarterback that they got a few years ago, had DJ in there a few years ago, and yes, it's not panning out, but they're a really good recruiting team. They're not too far from Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised if they take away some of those Georgia guys, man. You only can get so many guys at Georgia University, So, the next closest big school will probably be Clemson, maybe Alabama. It's not too far away either. You got those schools that are very close. Auburn is another one. But I think Clemson is a hot spot right now, and I think that they can get some of these guys in there, man. So they have the capability of stealing some of these guys from UGA.
Nah, no question, man. And the South Carolina rider, has got to just bring up South Carolina as we spoke of the culture draw. I think it's statewide, man. Not to take anything away from Clemson, but man, Clemson. That's my train of thought there, but a lot of people, bless you, brother. A lot of people, they kind of attacked Dabo last year, but he's not with the NIL thing. He didn't really, he didn't really go heavy on that. But obviously, man, he still got a lot of these big names. It's got Warm right next to him on these major recruiting platforms. So he's definitely doing his thing. It's got like a little Nick Saban vibe to him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Kind of doing it before Kirby got to Georgia and still do. I know Kirby's the big honcho, big dog right now, but Dabo's definitely the old guy with his leg crossed talking to these kids now that Nick Saban has retired. So I think Clemson is gonna be back in prominence, if not this year, the next 2 to 3. Kind of let them get guys in and let them build up, man. But that's my take on it.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
I want to say something along those lines because, I know, and me and Naj kind of went into this a little bit on our private chat, but I know that, yes, we're in us three as a collective. We're in a space where we look at, player stars and try to rank them and this and that. But I think that we have to remember there's another element to it, and that's coaching as well. And Dabo Sweeney has a really good coaching staff. He's a really good coach himself. And you can develop players. I mean, just look at Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan, but just look at what Michigan did. They don't have a lot of high star players. They're never in the top 10. They haven't been in the top 10 as far as ranking recruiting rankings, and I have no idea. But they just won the national championship, and that's the reason why. It's more about the totality of it. It's more about coaching. It's about competing. It's about this. You got to find different players. So when Bacon was talking about Dabo's not really getting into the NIL deals or getting player from NIL deals, that's not the end all be all. Yes, it's going to give you a lot of talent and stuff like that, but it's also another level to it too. So I want people to understand that don't deny a team just because they don't have a lot of 5 stars on their team or this and that. That's great. It's great, and it helps when you have that talent. But it's also development players. Also having a culture is also all that. So I just want all listeners to not think that you have to be a 5-star to go to a program and have a good program and be able to make it. Because that's not what it's all about. So I just wanted to say that. But go ahead, Naj. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, brother. No problem at all. Love giving giving your opinion, man. And to some degree, I agree with you. I definitely think it's not all about the talent; it's how you develop it. Because you can have a whole
Right.
rock of 5 stars that had the more talent. You're not developing that talent to be ready to play. Then you know what I'm saying. And what was the point of doing all that? So, and we see stories like that all the time. Go look at like Lab McConkey, right? Like he was not no heavily recruited player, but look what Georgia developed him to be, right? Now he's going to the league. Go look at Javon Bullard, another Georgia player. Wasn't a heavily recruited player, but look what he developed him to be, right? He's going to be going on to the NFL. Another one, Stetson Bennett, right? Walk-on type guy, had to earn his spot, developed, ended up leading them to 2 championships, right? He's in the NFL now. So I agree with you. I definitely think that is the case. You got to have coaching and development. That's very, very important. And I think, I think Clemson is, they're on the rise. Like, they didn't have a good year last year. And this is going to lead us to our other topic on this. But I think it's going to be important how they set the table, how they come out the gates in week 1 against Georgia. That's going to be important to see where they are as a program. And he just does it differently. He don't do the transfer portal. He don't do really NIL like that. He's a kind of an old-fashioned coach. And that's kind of why Nick Saban kind of left. He said he didn't like what college football was becoming. He's been all on the airwaves past couple of days talking about it and how it was not the same game that he is used to or accustomed to. And he said he couldn't recognize it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it is changing with the NIL. I think they need to have a revenue-based model where the players are like employees, and I think that'll kind of get some of those things out there that we see and kind of level the playing field, get a little bit more parity for all these programs. But I think it's interesting what they got going. They got some top-end talent. Their secondary going to be lethal next year. Their linebacking core going to be good. Question is, I think it's going to be Clay Klubnik. Can he get it done? Will them receivers be ready to play next year? Because they got the talent defensively, I think, to be even better than they were last year.
That's facts.
Yeah, I said this before too. We interviewed Klubnik when he was in high school, following his career. We did breakdowns of him. I do still have belief he can kind of break out of this. And if there is a guy that can do it, I think Dabo can help him out. If you really think about it, last year was his full year starting. He played a couple of games the year before when DJ was there, but this was his team last year. So there's a lot of pressure on him. Now he's going to have the second year to kind of get in there. My hopes are still out there, for him to be a better player, and hopefully he can get to that level, So definitely rooting on Klubnik for sure.
No doubt. Well, we got to go to the hot button topic to close out our football section, Jerome, and I think I'm going to let you have at it first before Bacon responds. Off the record, you said rebuild, and obviously me, Jeremy, Luke kind of came at you. So
yeah,
clarify those comments. Like,
listen,
rebuild, go ahead and give your take, brother.
I'll say this again. This was, I asked. It was a question. It was not more of a statement. I say I think they're rebuilding, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like, there was a lot. I don't know the transfer portal. I don't follow the transfer portal as close as I probably should. But I know the transfer portal is a big thing, and I know Georgia got some guys. I don't know the guys they got. So I was asking because, again, I do follow the NFL draft, and I see that Georgia is losing a lot of players. I know. I would say Michigan is rebuilding. Like half the daggone team is going to the NFL. You got the most players in the combine this year. 18 players are going to the NFL from Georgia. Michigan. So in the same sense, I think Georgia's the next tier under that as far as how many players are going to the NFL. And my question was, are they rebuilding? Because I don't know how. I see that they got Carson Beck. And he kind of was shaky in the beginning of the season. Then he kind of got it together, which I love that. I would like to see a little bit more consistency out of that. But, they're going to have a brand new running back. They're going to have 2 new receivers. They're going to have a brand new tight end, a couple of pieces on offensive line. So that's going to be a lot of nuances for that young quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Defensively, you're using safety, using 2 corners. You're using, I think, a defensive tackle and an edge rusher, I believe. So that's what that question was like. Is Georgia rebuilding? A lot of you guys say, "Oh man, they got this guy," and it's cool, yeah, okay, cool. Y'all named some guys off for me, and I was like, I fell back a little bit, like, oh, yeah, okay, I got you. That did kind of attack me, though. I'm not gonna lie, but I will say this. The Georgia game versus Clemson in the beginning of the season. I will say this, I'm not saying this is not me saying that Georgia's going to lose. I actually have Georgia win that game, and we're going to get into who we think is going to win the first season and stuff like that on our RPO College Football podcast. But I will say I don't think people are giving Clemson enough credit. And I'm not saying it's going to be a close game, but don't be surprised if it's either it is a close game or Clemson win. Because I think it can still go either way right now, just based on who I'm seeing in both positions, the nuances. There's a lot of things that's going to go into it. I mean, Clemson lost some players too. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see how this goes because Clemson still got I like the running back Mafe, and I just picked up somebody as well. So Klubnik has his running backs that have been in there for a while, So I'm gonna let you guys tear me apart for what I just stated, but go ahead.
I'll let you go, Bacon. They also got David Esiemi from North Cobb too, Jerome.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna tell you that, brother. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Jerome did. I mean, Jeremy, they did their thing, but
that's what they did.
I went retooling.
Yeah, that's a better word. Thank you. That's a better word.
Yeah, that's why I see what you're doing, man.
You got my back. You got my back.
A little words, I know where you were going, brother. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. I'm definitely gonna be. I mean, I'm sure like everybody else is gonna be watching that Georgia Clemson game. It's gonna be everything and more. Dabo, like I said, a resurgent year for them, barring the quarterback play offensively. But it's gonna be. I'm definitely gonna be tuned in, man. I ain't gonna grill you, Jerome.
Hey, Notch. Before you start, can you tell the listeners how all this conversation derived from? Because you're the one that put the graphic in there.
Yeah, so basically, man, Clay Klubnik came out and was like, man, we're gonna go undefeated this year. And I said, bold take, you know what I'm saying? And then, Luke came in with his comment. Jeremy came in with his comment. Jeremy, we had on the show last week. Y'all go back and go watch that, man. He rated our list and everything. Y'all go back and check out that episode.
Yes, please.
All platforms, please do that. But yeah, that's basically how it came up. And then he said, is Georgia rebuild? I think if he would have came in at it a different way, if he would have said, do you guys think Georgia's in a rebuild? I think, what I'm saying, it would have came off a little different. But Georgia is in a rebuild, that didn't fly well. And they're not. They're not. They're retooling, as my guy Bacon said, with the talent they got. They just got too much coming in, bro. Like Kirby really did good in the transfer portal. Some of the guys you don't know, they got Trevor Etienne from Florida. He's coming in. That's the number one back. Then you got the two-headed monster behind them, some young guys. One is already kind of established. One is a freshman. So they got those guys going to have a three-headed monster out the backfield. Then you go and look Carson Beck's in another year. As you said, those nuances are going to be a big thing now, especially with, new different pieces on the offensive line, knowing Mary Mims, but do have the two highest PFF graded. If you guys don't know what PFF is, it's Pro
Football Focus.
Graded guys in the interior offensive line coming back next year. So you got that continuity, that stability coming back. You also got a Danielle Calhoun. Now you got a Bo Hughley who could push for a little bit of time. We'll see what happens with that. And then you got the tight ends. I know you said that's a new group. It's not really. You got Lawson Luckily, formerly of Norcross. He got a little bit of playing time last year. And you got Oscar Delp, who really came on towards the end, especially when Brock Bowers was out with that injury. So you got your safety blanket. You got somebody you can depend on. The biggest question mark is going to be wide receiver, right? Jeremy said they got a couple guys, but I think the first couple of games is going to be wide receiver by committee, right? Who's going to be able to stand out for them at the wide receiver spot? Now, they got a guy, London Humphreys, got him over from Vanderbilt. They got a guy from Miami that came in too, but he's going to have those go-to resources. He's not going to have Aladdin anymore or Brock Bowers. So that part is going to be to watch kind of going early on in. And then defensively, they are replacing a couple guys, lost the corner, lost the safety, but you got KJ Bolden coming to the fold. You got Elias Robinson, the 5-star, coming into the fold. They did lose a linebacker to Kentucky, but they still got Smoke Munden. But defensive tackle is going to be interesting kind of place to kind of watch. So overall, I digress. I don't think they're in a rebuild. They're just going to have some different pieces at different spots. And they do got some new coaches coming in, new wide receiver coach, new different spots like that. So it's going to be interesting. But when you got Kirby at the helm, you got your potential Heisman favorite, coming back to the fold, you got to feel pretty good if you're Georgia.
Should I add
Go ahead.
You got Michael Williams entering in his third year. That's going to be That's gonna be big. What's his name? Is it Chris Coley? Chris Coley, the wide receiver coach, I believe. I think his last name's Coley for sure.
James.
What's that?
James
Coley. Yes, thank you. Yeah, super. Who hasn't had a track record of staying too long, as we just seen with his departure. But great recruiter, man. I think back on the interview I did with the player from Miami. He was like, man, Coach Coley, instant. He had just got there, and he's bringing in recruits in. So it's going to be another adder of recruiting embarrassment upon embarrassment of riches for Georgia. So as they bring in another heavy recruiting position coach. So that's all I want to say. Go ahead, Jerome.
No, and one last thing before we get off this topic, because I still feel like y'all attacking me a little bit, but it's okay.
Nah, bro.
But I'll say this, my main concern was obviously, like Naj said, the losing of your best two players, Lad and Brock, and watching Carson Beck, those two were his go-to guys. There was just guys like once he got in trouble, there was this guys, I think his name is, I always mess up his name, Jack St. Mary, the wide receiver. Forgot how to say his name, but there you go. I literally always mess up his name. Just seeing him at the Senior Bowl. He's actually a good player. He's a baller. He's playing at the Senior Bowl. He's a really good baller as well. But losing those guys, there was those top three targets. Those guys, especially with Brock Bowers, man. I mean, and again, not talking mess about Carson Beck because he did prove me wrong last year, but he did lean on Brock Bowers a lot in the beginning of last season. Now, hopefully, he's comfortable again and he can be able to go out there and do his thing. But he would literally Brock Bowers was his guy, and there was times where a ball would be a little bit overthrown. Brock Bowers kind of bailed them out a little bit. And that was a lot in the beginning of the season. Now, when Brock Bowers went out, I could see the growth in, Carson Beck and see how he, maneuvered once he didn't have this top guy. So I do see that, he can do that. But again, you never know when there's so many nuances, especially to one side of the position, and you got a quarterback that's kind of learning to be without those kind of targets. It's going to be very interesting to see first game of the season. We've seen it a lot of times where that first game teams kind of struggle because still there's no preseason in college. So they kind of struggle going into it. And, they still trying to find a way in the beginning of the season. You see Alabama last year, they was struggling in the beginning and didn't look like Alabama, and they start bringing it on a little bit at the end. So I just want to bring caution to it. I just don't want to be like, oh, it's going to be a blowout like everybody was saying. I'm not going to say
I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah. No. I know you wasn't, but there's some guy that was like, it's going to be a blowout. I'm like, all right, pump the brakes a little bit, guys. Come on. They're both really good programs.
No doubt about it, man. So that's Jerome's hot take. That's going to conclude football, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We might start talking a little bit more college football. Obviously, we're going to be heavy on high school, but being that, obviously Bacon covers South Carolina beat for SI and Georgia Tech. I cover Georgia Tech beat. Jerome's very big on Michigan. So we might do a little bit more. I know they got their own RPO podcast that they do just college football, but we might do a little bit more, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
And teams we covering and stuff like that. And
let's talk football.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of fun, man. But now it's time for the 3 week. We're gonna pass
Hey, man, I could have done it. That was perfect. That's probably better, man. But for the first topic of the 3-man weave, college basketball is introducing an NIL tournament, man. It's going to be the winner pot is $2 million. Now, each team that gets in, it's going to be $1 million per team for entry, and the winner gets an additional $1 million, which equals up to the $2 million pot. I believe it helped me out, Naj. Some of the schools they've already talked to. I know Duke. Kentucky's on. I don't remember seeing them in the article.
I think they're interested in them from what I saw. That's how my eyes is telling me.
Let's see. But that's gonna be so. It's gonna be a second. No, not really a second because I do a lot of little mini tournaments, but it's gonna be a big tournament. Nonetheless, obviously with money on the line, it's gonna be hoops, Hoops. Let me see if I can find the date of when this is starting. Nonetheless, Duke is in it.
Duke, Virginia, and Kansas are projected to be the first.
Duke, and who else in Kansas?
Duke, Virginia, and Kansas. Some of the ones projected.
Duke, Virginia, and is there a date of when this is starting? Is this early in the season?
I believe it's in like November.
November. Okay, so this is around Thanksgiving. So so you got the Atlantis, you got the Maui Invitational going on during this time. So this is probably it sounds like, well, depending if it's early or late, it could pull some great teams for some historic tournaments. But nonetheless, when you got money on the line, man, you know what I'm saying, why not? Especially when you're being invited. So just whenever you get a chance, Naj, just or you, Jerome, how do you feel like introducing money into a tournament? This is the first of its kind. How do you feel like this is going to help or hurt college basketball as a whole?
I mean, it's just the point of how college sports are right now, and for you to bring something in like this, I think it's gonna just be, it's just how it is. So, if it's how everything is moving, why not? Give some incentive to the kids, bring some more talent in, be able to generate revenue. So maybe next year it'd be more than a $2 million pot. And I'm sure the $2 million pot is going to be spread across the teams that are in the tournament. So I think it's a good idea to have that, because then even some of the players that's not starters get some revenue and help them out. So I believe that's the biggest part of this, because it helps. It's a pot. It's not like it just goes to individual players, and hey, some of these kids might not ever get to play, or might not even get that much playing time this year or next year. But they're behind the scenes, the work that they put in, and the dedication to get up every day, grind and stuff like that, and to be on a team, they gotta work just as hard as some of the starters, So, I think that it is cool that they are able to get some of this revenue if the teams win, and even just being in the tournament, like you said. So.
Nah, facts. And before I pass to Naj, I wanted to say this. Even on the high school level, you got a lot of money being thrown around. If we were at the Under Armour camp, they passed out. I'm not sure the name of the brand of the chain, but it was some icy chains that was passed out to some of the top performers. So the bag is being opened and is being divvied out. But I thought that was interesting is the and one CEO of basketball, Seth Berger, is on the I guess the committee who started this. I think that's interesting. If you know anything about the and one mixtape that were prevalent and hot during the I think early 2000s, mid 2000s, definitely in the 90s. If they're trying to maybe, I'm not sure. I mean, well, it's obviously to public knowledge that they're trying to be, incorporate the brand. But are we going to start seeing little mixtapes from this go viral? Because college media at the game, they don't really do mixtapes. They kind of just do clip of players. But are they going to, kind of make this a and one type of feel, not in terms of style of play, but in terms of how they market it? And will this, being into the Maui Invitational and the Atlantis? But yeah, what's your take, Naj?
Yeah, I think as Jerome pointed out, it's kind of headed in that direction already, right? With the NIL, I know NCAA is trying to get it under wraps a little bit, kind of control it, because it's been all over the place for some of the players, some of the programs. But I definitely think that's just the way it's going. I kind of like it. It's exciting. You get a potential chance, to make some money, and I think it helps out overall too, because obviously got all these players making the money, but the programs get it. It's divvied up. And like I said, you just never know. I've always been an advocate for NIL, because you just never know the predicament somebody is in. Like, that money could be helping them back home. You know what I'm saying? That money could be helping them while they're in school. Don't get me wrong, guys. A free education is always great. You're supposed to go get your degree. That's supposed to be your backup plan. That's supposed to be something you do because you can't play sports forever. But I think at the same time, it gives you a little bit of a cushion. And then you can kind of navigate towards what you want to do maybe outside of basketball, outside of the sport that you're playing in. So I just think they got to curb it a little bit more. But I like it for the players. I think it's going to make an exciting tournament, money on the line. And I think you're going to see some good basketball. Man, you're going to see people with very high end intensity. Not that you don't see that, but I think it's just going to ratchet it up even more.
Right, no doubt, man. And last thing, we'll kind of move on. List of all the teams: Alabama, Duke, FAU. Who's in discussion? Nobody. I don't think anybody's officially committed yet. Maybe two. But Alabama, Duke, FAU, Houston, Kansas, Oregon, San Diego State, St. John's, the historic Syracuse, Virginia are alleged to participate in this upcoming event for the 2025 NCAA men's season. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the girls department. They get a lot of money in over there too. I think for me, the two teams that are shoo-ins to be in the Final Four, Duke for sure. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Evans, Cooper Flagg, whoever stays from Duke. Phil Pawski's gone, so it'll be interesting to see if Jared McCain stays. And I'm going to say I like San Diego, or Kansas too, and San Diego State, and I like Alabama. I know those are the Blue Buds kind of, but, except for San Diego State, but that's just my pick.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Duke just got that 5-star big man recently as well. They got the top class in the country going into next season. And like I said, I think they're going to be a very exciting brand of basketball to watch. I think the most exciting, man, since they've had Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, and RJ Barrett when Duke was must-see TV. Like, you had to come on TV and watch Duke that night. I think Duke is trending into that category next year. I think, obviously, Rutgers is going to be interesting to watch with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper to see what they can do. If they can ruffle a little bit of feathers. But I mean, I can't wait. I think they're doing a great job with their class. And I think those teams at the thing are going to do a good job. And also, shout out to South Carolina. Their head coach just got SEC Basketball Coach of the Year. Want to give him his proper due and proper praise. So shout out to him. Yes, sir. What he was able to do with that program this past season and getting them to the NCAA tournament and making them a formidable SEC team.
Most definitely, man. And moving on, this is going to be like a little two-part thing because, you know what I'm saying, everybody knows Camila Cardoso of South Carolina was in the headlines 2 times this reason. One good, one, I'm not going to say bad, but she did her thing at the least. And, man, if women's had a football team, she'd be a hell of an offensive tackle, man. Just letting you know that.
Hey, yo.
Man, that's a big lady, bro.
Yeah,
6'8". Yo.
You see what happened when her brother jumped up over the thing and see how tall he was?
Yeah. And on his behalf, I don't think the brother had any intentions of laying any hands on.
Yeah. He kind of stepped back a little bit. I seen the tape too. He kind of stepped back a little bit and kind of like then he got kind of like the security was like oh, and he was like whoa, like I'm just trying to make sure my sister good.
Yeah, this instinct.
I didn't see no. Yeah. It looked like he was just trying to go on the court and break it up and make sure his sister was good. I didn't see no ill intent to harm anybody, but you know how that is. He's not supposed to be on the court. It's a guy. See him on the court, so they're gonna hey. So I get that.
But that hopefully, I'm sure, or hopefully the higher upper brass of LSU stepped in and got the brother out of jail, no bond, and nothing on his record because what I'm saying, nothing really bad happened other than him hopping on the court and officers detaining him for doing their job. But and secondly, in a couple of days prior, Camila Cardoso, she had the tough bank at the buzzer to beat Tennessee. Man, I thought it was over. I'm like, man, I was getting ready to write the article. Like, these girls get ready to get in there. Undefeated stuff, getting ready to come out, and they finna lose here. But but she came through, man, kind of like this a little degree where her legs kicked down and banked that bad boy off the glass. Man, she said in the interview, man, she said she's never took a 3-pointer in a game. She said I take this shot in practice all the time. Stepped into a confidence as you're seeing, and hey, this we're in March, and this is the month of magic and madness. And it's just the beginning, man. And they beat LSU, so we're going to see what else happens, man. So would you like to add anything to that, Brother Najee?
Yeah, man. I like how they can play. I finally got to see a full game of South Carolina. As I mentioned, just a little bit quick about the game against LSU. I just like the players they got. They got so many that can come at you. Some were dealing with foul trouble. But I like the lineup. I like the number. What number she was? 12. Full Wiley. I like what she can bring. Just the freshmen. They're young, but stepping up big for them. Pow can shoot it. Can really show.
Man.
I mean, she can shoot that thing, man, with some of the best of them. And I like what they can do in the paint, right? They can run a nice pick and roll. Their shooters can shoot. They can probe into the lane, get the mid-range off the floats. And then they also got Cardoso, who's a problem in the paint as well. And obviously, I'm not excusing Cardoso's responsible for her actions. But obviously, too, man, sometimes you can be kind of wilted into that. I used to play the sport, so I already know how it is, man. Like, you chilling, you doing your thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen Bacon. You might see some of the headlines, but she got hit in the face on one of them, just like blatantly hit her in the face. It was an intentional foul. Another one, she like pulled her hair off. I mean, after a while, you know what I'm saying? That does get frustrating. I'm not excusing anything she did. She was in the wrong, obviously. But, man, we got to be honest, too. Like, Reese, what she was doing, come on, bro. Like, she was provoking her, too, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't really call much on her when she was provoking her. So I just want to point that out. Obviously, I don't got no hate for Reese or nothing. I just think, she just got to – maybe that's just what she is. Maybe she's just a, I don't want to say intimidator, but maybe she's like a Draymond Green, like a pest, a Patrick Beverly, trying to provoke you. Like, maybe that's just a part of her game. Now, she's still a star in her own right.
Yes.
She don't have to do all that, but maybe that's just what she likes to do. But as you said in the press conference, they're not backing down from them. That's why I said I think that's must-watch TV in the future, man, to see what they're going to be able to do. South Carolina is the standard. LSU did just win. Yes, let's give them credit. They did just win their national championship, but we know who the standard is. And that's still Carolina. So let's see this postseason if they can back it up. And then back to that, you asked me off air, Bacon, do you think they made the right decision with Tennessee? I think you got to play the percentages sometimes, man. I know analytics is a big part of the game now, but if for somebody that just attempted 1-3 maybe up until that point, and she's not really a three-point shooter, you got to touch your percentages there. If she make it, damn, hell of a shot. Like, you go talk to any NBA great, they're going to say, okay, we played the percentage. We know LeBron, historically, is not great from three. Or we know historically Patrick Beverly is not good from three. He's like 28%, 30%, whatever the number is. We're going to let him shoot that. If he beat us shooting that, we're going to just live by that. As long as the best player don't beat us. Now, she's their best player, but the percentages aren't high. So you live with that. That's it. Now, only bad thing he didn't do, Bacon, they should have contested the shot.
Should have contested the shot, without a doubt.
Contested the shot. You don't just leave it wide open. You know,
not for the game.
Not for the game. That's where they messed up. But having her make that contested and she banks it in and wins, hey, you got to just put your hands up at that point. You know what I'm saying? It's like Steph Curry. He's shooting it from three. You know what I'm saying? He's been cold all game. He hit 2 to get him back in the game, and he hit a game winner. You got to just live with it. He's the best shooter ever.
Facts, man. Now I kind of say this, we could segue on. It's gonna be intriguing. March Madness, I believe it starts 2 weeks from now, if I'm not mistaken. I think. South Carolina, #1 overall seed, man. It should be in the Final Four in the thick of things. Hot take, not really so hot take. USC will upset one of the 4 blue bloods. It's going to be in around that Elite 8 range. We're going to see Watkins, and I can't remember the sister who had an amazing post-game interview after USC defeated Stanford. I seen my girl. Man, what's her name? She played at my goodness, Westminster Lab. I seen Courtney Ogden in the game, man. She had a little assist, a little 60-yard pass for a little post layup. So I want to shout her out. But you can book, you can expect Juju and the USC ladies' choice to be upsetting some ladies down the stretch, man. So, but we'll move on. We don't want to take up too much of people's time. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
76 strong, man. 76 strong, bro. They hanging in there, and the numbers going up. So shout out to our viewers, man.
Thank you for everybody, you know what I'm saying, for taking your time to tune in with us. Stay up late sometimes, man. These 2-hour shows, man. But we thank y'all from the bottom of our hearts, man. And thank you. I don't want to get too emotional. It's only on the cusp. Moving on.
We got to clip that up. We got to clip that in there.
Yeah. You won't get me clipping it in there, buddy. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna do some graphics to that one. Add some special effects to that one. I won't tell you what it is yet, though.
I'm gonna let Naj lead with this one. Relentless Hoops is having a summer league June the 18th through the 20th at Whitfield Academy. So you know what I'm saying? Let me open this link, but I'm gonna let you kind of segue us into it. You know, obviously, Relentless Hoops does a lot of good things in the community. A national brand to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? They're NCAA approved scouting service. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing it for a while, man. A good brother went to, his name is Trent Markwith. I'm saying he does a lot of good things, man. Wofford alum, man. So it's definitely a basketball school, but just kind of let us know, Nash.
Wait for Jerome to share it.
So Shane's screen.
Sorry, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. My bad.
You're good, brother. You're good. But here it is. In case you missed 2024 Relentless Hoop Summer League will be taking place June 18th through the 20th at Whitefield Academy. Last year featured 3 2024 GHSA state champions, 2 Final Four teams, 1 Elite 8 teams, 6 Sweet 16 teams. That is not easy to say. 6 Sweet 16 teams, 1 GAPPS team as well. And here it is right here. As you see, they had it last year. Some of the top teams, just to kind of look at the list of people that played in it last year. I think it's a really great tournament. I'm learning more about the basketball realms in high school. And actually what I learned, Bacon, is that a lot of the teams, they have these summer leagues, right, where they'll come. I think Kyle Sandy's big on it as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, you got the AAU circuit, but they'll come in like June, July, and then they'll play basketball for a month. Apparently, they go all around. They'll go with like different universities, Alabama A&M, maybe University of Alabama, different things like this, and they'll go and play with the core team they usually have that they play with in the fall. So it's just, I think, a great month to kind of, you know, allow these players to be able to get that continuity with the new teammates potentially, and also kind of get out on the scale and be able to play these top programs. But this is the teams last year: Grayson, Kell, Buford, Woodstock, Mount Vernon. They won a state championship. Widenerboro, Decula was real good this season. Harrison, South Paulding, Mount Pisgah, Walnut Grove, who was good this season, Sequoia, Marist, North Cobb Christian, Walker School, Alpharetta. So that's a little bit about it. I think it's a great thing. Like I said, I'm going to see if I can go. It's not too far out. It's out over there going kind of to Marietta over there in Smyrna. So it's not too bad of a ride.
Yeah.
But it might be something worth looking into to kind of see, you know, those players coming in and some of the top players, you know, coming in for next season.
Most definitely. Definitely intrigued. Well, I know a coach at Mount Vernon. We went to college together back in Dalton, man. So it's gonna be fun to see him and learn about his team. But like the list is stacked. Kell, Grayson. Nothing needs to be said about those two programs. North Cobb Christian has some gems. And Decula this year they did their thing. They got some wings. I think a wing and a guard. We saw at what event was that? It was
Say it again, I'm sorry.
What'd you say, brother?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said I'm trying to remember the event, the showcase we went to that had Decula. Well, I didn't get to see him because I left.
Oh, that was the
Double Trouble.
There you go. Yep, Double Trouble Invitational. Yep, in December. Yep.
Yeah, man. So yeah, this is gonna be one that I'm gonna try to hit. I'm gonna be all over the place in basketball and football, man. It's gonna be a fun, action-packed time off season, but I know it's gonna be worth it, man. I'm just really ready for it to get here, man. It's gonna be it's gonna be a big journey.
No doubt. Yeah. We'll go get Bacon to 5K subscribers.
Hey, that'd be
maybe the summer.
Product of the work, though. Product of the work, man. As we heard earlier.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah, we got to get you a contract, man, where you got your own brand, and then you can come on and you can talk about these kids in basketball to give people the latest intel, dog.
Hey, that'd be a dream coming true, brother. You know what I'm saying?
In addition to our podcast we got too.
Facts. Hey, something go like that, boy. Y'all might see it, brother. It's real talk, man. Real talk. But moving on. Let's talk about. We're gonna bring in now. We're gonna go through all of them. We're gonna go through the top games, probably top games.
Top games. Yeah.
The GHSA championships. That being said, man, we're gonna start with the granddaddy of them all, man. We're gonna start with 7A, man. Grayson versus McEachern, man. A game that started out cold for the Indians. He came back, blew some life into the team. They only had the lead for, I believe, 19, 21 seconds. Grayson came back with a big performance by Mr. Wilkins, and they took it home, man. So shout out to the Grayson Rams for doing what everybody knew at the beginning of the year, that what they did, what they should do, and they did it. So shout out to them.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they had another great year. They made history. Did what Kel did last year. Girls won, boys won. Same thing this year. Girls won, boys won. Girls went undefeated. So shout out to them. Daniel Carney, Coach Tim Slater, outstanding job all year. As I was saying in my earlier day show, I think, man, and y'all comment below me on the girls side real quick, which of these three teams, if not all three, should be invited to the national tournament? Grayson, Wesleyan, and Hebron Christian, man. All great teams, all ranked nationally on the girls side. So one of them teams should go. I think definitely here in the state of Georgia, they were that good this season. I want to throw that out there. But yeah, man, granddaddy of them all. Just those two dunks that Jacob Wilkins had after McEachern had took the lead was very monumental. It stopped the bleeding. It stopped the momentum. But we knew all year, Bacon. I mean, we got to see Grayson up close. We know the team from Broward, gave him a little bit of run in the first half, and then they shut it down in the second half, man. That was Rapids. You know what I'm saying? Got it up out of there and did their thing, man. So very deep team, and we know how good Coach Pierce is. Good to see him win a state championship. I think that's their first in their history, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go back and look, but shout out to him. They've been knocking on the door for years. He has a really good pedigree. Now he caps it off with a state championship, man, and they had an outstanding year. They just were loaded talent-wise, right? Jakari Harris, TJ Holland, get to the lane, push it fast break, set up his teammates. Jakari Harris can 3-level score, hit anywhere on the court. Purdue commit. Jacob Wilkins is coming into his own. I think he's already a top 2025 guy, but he could be, venturing into, if he has a strong summer circuit, MU or whatever he decides to play, he could jump into that top 5, top 10 conversation with top players in the country. I think he's just that good. And then obviously you have Amir Taylor, who's underrated but does all the dirty work, rebounds, block shots, can finish around the rim. Then you throw in Anthony Austin's another good player, can stroke it from deep, good in the mid-range, good defender, plays the best on-ball defender usually, on-ball player, perimeter player. So I just think they just had too much. And sometimes when you see these games, you see the star talent, you see the Ace Baileys, who I think is the number one player in the country. All right, you see the Jay Nashes, the number 30s.
Nadosi Oriemba. Come on now.
Nadosi Oriemba. Yeah, I don't be wanting to screw up the man name. But you know what I mean. They just had too much, I would say too much talent. Now, McEachern obviously had it, but when you have a team that's culminated together and they're very deep and got depth, Travis Burgess, another player that played for them, a good role player on the team. Ahmad Clark, a good role player on the team. When you had that in and you got good depth and good pieces, everybody knew, man, this was Grayson's title to lose. Was it as dominant as Wheeler? Maybe not. Maybe not. But maybe not as dominant as Wheeler was prior. But we knew Grayson, for the most part, they had it in the bag.
Most definitely, man. They just more. They had a lot more talent, man. They out the Rams bench outscored McEachern's bench 11-0. Out rebounded the Indians 47-27. So you know what I'm saying, when your bench outscores the other team and you control the glass, that's a recipe for success, man. Quick stat on the Dozy. 10 points, 6 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? The only other Indian to finish in double figures, man. So shout out to him, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy I feel like he's getting slept on. Definitely could play somewhere at a high level. He's going to give his all, give his energy, his time, is dedicated to the craft of basketball. So I want to shout him out, man. But moving on to 6A, man. I got to give credit where credit is due, man. Brother Najee, he called this one. I thought Alexander was going to win by a modest 7 to 10 points.
You had it at 10. I got you, Douglas. You had double digits. I got you 7 to 10. How much you had to clip?
Hey. Well, let's scoot this under the rug, man. Let's y'all want to hop in on the clip thing, but
oh man, I was playing, man. But nah, man, I just knew like they had a real deep team. Not that Alexander didn't. They coached by Jason Slay, who does a great job going back to back. They was like on a 16-17 game winning streak, beat all their teams, like 14 of the 17 by double digits. They did their thing, man, ever since McEachern. We seen them against McEachern, and they were dominant the rest of the season, man. But I just thought, man, that kid, I gotta give him a shout out. He won Riverwood Athlete of the Week, man. Doesn't get a lot of praise, a lot of credit, but Ended up shouting out my article I had on him that I had wrote that night for Score Atlanta. Calvin Lindsay, man, that kid was all over the court. I mean, if you guys can go back and get the NFHS and go watch the on demand, I mean, what he was doing, Bacon, it wasn't the scoring, four, maybe 6 points, but getting those extra possessions for Riverwood, hustling to the ball, coming down, getting poke steals, guarding their best player. Guess who he guarded, Bacon?
He guarded Big Braden?
No, he did not. No, that was J.R. Leonard. No, he guarded Gregory Dunson, who's a very highly sought-after guard, sophomore guard, who's really impressive in the state. You're going to see his name pop up a little bit more in the offseason. He held him to 10 points on 3 of 16 shooting.
Yep.
So that's getting it done. 3 blocks, 3 steals. I mean, he did everything he could on the court. One, he had a pass, man. He went up. It was an offensive rebound. He got it, threw it right to the corner, kept the possession alive, man. So I wanted to give him a special shout out before I talk about the prolific scores. He gets the game ball from me. Everything he was doing, they kept him in the game. And in first quarter, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It looked like Alexander was gonna run away with it. Yeah. But J.R. Leonard, man, he was aggressive. The shot was not falling on the night. He missed his first 10 baskets plus, but he kept probing, attacking downhill, going to the lane, and he kept drawing fouls against him. And he went 14 for 17 in the first half from free throw line. So that's getting it done, bro. This is what I always tell you, Big. I feel like guys in the NBA, sometimes collegiate level, if your shot is not falling, go to the rim, attack downhill, get in your rhythm from the free throw line. That is the best rhythm. I think that's the best rhythm that you can get into outside of the three-point shot. Sometimes it's not going to be falling. Sometimes it's not going to be a night. Get to the lane, get an easy basket, get to the free throw line, get your rhythm, then go back outside. So I thought he carried his curl low early. Karis Bilal didn't have his best game, but made the necessary plays late, got still late to kind of end the game. 9 turnovers in the game, but still finished with 14 points, 12 rebounds, did his thing. But those two, Calvin Lindsay, J.R. Leonard, 31 points in that game, really carried the scoring load. And Braden Lou, I thought he was great, man. Double-double in the game, 28 plus points, 12 rebounds. Yeah, man, I think he should have just been a little bit more aggressive. Now, I know it's hard to say when he scored 28. But I think he should have demanded the ball just a little bit more. Just demanded a little bit more. Got great guards, Jermaine Freeman, Gregory Dunson, Torian Page, but you got to be able to demand the ball more. He's that good. And when he was attacking downhill, getting to the lane and drawing fouls, it made it tough for Riverwood. But as I told you, man, Riverwood had a different type of team this year. They knew it when they beat Lee County. And shout out to Coach Buck Jenkins, man, the greatest Columbia player ever in their Hall of Fame. He did his thing coaching-wise, man, and he held on for the win. And the game went into overtime, Bacon. So that game was exciting.
Nah, thanks, man. Quick fact here, if you didn't see the game, the Riverwood Raiders they didn't get the lead till 6 minutes in the third quarter. So you know what I'm saying, just a will to win, to fight, to be resilient, and to stick in. And they were awarded with their first in history state championship. So congratulations to the Raiders for doing that thing. And we got a shout out to one of the ladies, Lizzie McGrath, man. She won the girls 3-point contest, man. So she got the ball, got her picture taken, man. So shout out to her, man, for letting that thing fly amongst the big bright lights. Let's see, 5A. Kel did their thing. They won 62-51 over Eagles Landing. I believe this is the second time they beat Eagles Landing
in the state championship.
Back-to-back years. Led wire to wire, man. This not I'm gonna say a dominant win, but they did their thing. Let's see. CJ Brown tallied 21 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block to close out his career. You know what I mean? They came in, did what they needed to do. Let's see, Dwight Brown, 9 points, 8 rebounds for Eagles Landing. Chris Morris recorded 17 points, 6 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? It was a well-fought game. I just think Kel outperformed them, winning 11 points. That's a decent win in basketball, especially in high school basketball. So shout out to Kel for doing it again and bringing it home. And shout out to CJ Brown, you know what I'm saying, losing Peyton Marshall, having some question marks coming in. Is Kel still that team in 5A? And they answered the bell by defeating their rivals for the second time, man.
No doubt. I don't got much to say. I mean, they were Clip Beck's team. I seen enough when I was at Double Trouble Invitational that show they put on against Wheeler who was one of the better teams this year. They made it to the Final Four. That told me all I needed to know. And CJ Brown's that guy, bro. I keep saying that. And it's crazy to believe he's only going to USF. I mean, he's just that good. And I hope he continues to develop and can become a star on the collegiate level. He's just that good. Shout out to Cannon Richards as well for his performance, and Jalen Colson of the Longhorns as well.
Most definitely. Now let's not, you know what I'm saying, downplay the USF program. They do have I can't remember the brother's last name, but Kennesaw State's old coach, man, I think is a phenomenal coach. He's got down there's got 2 elite guards, Brandon Stroud, Chris Youngblood. I believe that program is trending in the right direction. I think CJ Brown is another byproduct when it gets down there what that team can become. On the football side, it did hold Alabama to a close game, so maybe both sides, but definitely basketball. But moving on to the next state championship for the boys, man. Another one that my brother called out on me, man. North Oconee upset. I ain't gonna say upsets, but we'll say upset. Upsets Holy Innocents 65-60, man. A hard-fought game, a game of elite shooting from North Oconee that you know what I'm saying came to the demise of Holy Innocents, man. Caleb Wilson did his thing. Devin Hutchinson did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I believe they had another brother who kind of did that thing. I'll find it. Say it again, brother.
Justin Wise.
Eston Wise. He had some big shots, right?
That's the name to know, bro. 19 points, 5 for 10. That's the name to know. 2027 class. He's going to have a lot to say here in the state. I think he's going to be very, very elite here pretty soon, Bacon. He already had to coming out. Hey, his coach called him J Money. Tells you all you need to know. Your coach calling you J Money. Hey, and I think he got a little bit of play at 8th grade. He was already playing with the varsity team or was on and practicing with them. So that goes to show you, man, that kid's ready. They're going to bring back some good talent. They're going to be an impressive team to watch. And as I told you, bro, it's the same question. Outside of Caleb, who had a pretty good game, and obviously Devin Hutchinson, who else was going to score? That same question remained. They didn't
I wouldn't say pretty good, though, brother.
Outside of them, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he had a phenomenal game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he did. He did. But Caleb's one person. You know what I'm saying? And even the coach said he threw a lot of defensive coverage towards him. Like,
yes,
he wouldn't need other guys to beat it besides those two. And that's been the thing lacking for Holly Innocence, in my opinion.
The only thing I think I would have done differently, I would have made – I know it's high school ball and things kind of work different in high school ball, but when you have a player like Caleb Wilson, I think you kind of in a game like that, you kind of make him more of a facility. He needs to bring the ball up court. The offense needs to run through him. And why I say the game, the offense needs to run through him is because he's going to draw pressure, right? You know what I'm saying? So kind of, well, it's like kind of like the LeBron treatment. You know what I'm saying? When the defense comes, you draw. Obviously, hit the open man. If you as a high school player, as a player, if you need to take 2 dribbles in, pull up. You know what I'm saying? Don't just take the 3. Just simplify the game for everybody. We're gonna run the offense through Caleb. We know he's gonna draw. He's gonna draw him and Devin. So those two, I know he kind of played traditional, but that's the only thing I would have done differently. But nonetheless, hats off to North Oconee for doing that thing, man.
No doubt about it, man.
And let's see, we're going to go to Sandy Creek. But that's the next team in rotation.
Yeah, I kind of figured they was going to win one pretty handily.
Yeah.
You got a great program. Micah Smith, Amari Brown, their coach, J. Mac Nickerson, he does a good job with that program.
Yeah.
All the work that they put in, man. I mean, it's just a talented group, man. And you could just tell they was on a different level all season long. And I think, you know, they submit their status as Sandy Creek legends, I think, those players.
Most definitely. We're going to kind of gloss over West Side Augustus. They thraxed LaBelle the ass 64-29 over Toombs County. No surprise there, man. I think that's again outclassed. But we're gonna segue quickly to the women's basketball side of things. 5A, man. Shout out to a team on the south side. Number 2, Maynard Jackson defeats number 4 Midtown, man. For the first time this season, they defeated regional rival Midtown, man. So shout out to those ladies, man. First state title. They were down 14-10 after the first quarter and battled back after ripping off on a 14-0 run, and the rest was history, man. So shout out to the ladies, man, for doing that thing, man.
No doubt about it, man. Shout out to them. I had their coach on my day show earlier today on Square.
Hey.
So, I tried to get the coaches on, talk to him. So y'all go back and check that out. But yeah, really great coach, great program. And real quick, I'll just say this about the team. He told me, he said he knew they were special last summer. Like I was telling you, Bacon, these teams are playing in the summer now when they went to Alabama A&M, and he could tell like his girls, they suffered a couple losses. Obviously, that's going to happen on that circuit when you're playing high-end teams. But he said, they resolved how they was coming, and how hard they was playing in those games. He knew he had something special. Talia Cornish, Shakira Graham, they got some girls coming back, 4 to 5 starters next year. So they're going to be good. They're going to lose 7 seniors, but that team is deep, man. They're good on the defensive end. That's what led to a lot of their success this year, man. And they got a very, very, very bright future, man. So shout out to them. They actually beat Midtown. That's their 4th time beating them this season, Bacon. 29-1 this season.
That's tough. Hey, man, record speaks for itself. So shout out to the ladies for doing that thing, man. And another big nail-biter game that I know everybody was waiting to hear the results back. If you didn't get to see it on NFHS, obviously it went on TV. But Hebron Christian, they did their thing, being the #1 team in women's basketball for the whole season. They defeated a very talented Wesleyan team, winning by 2 points, 62-60. Let's see, they led. It was close game, 19-18, 420 mark in the second quarter. The Lions went on a 13-2 run to lead at half, 32-20. Wesleyan, they kind of struggled, shooting 31% from the field. And anytime you struggle in a big game like that, it's gonna be tough, but they battled back. With 20.6 seconds on the clock. Miss Wright, she made a big 3, but the ladies came up short, man. But shout out to Hebron for doing that thing, man. What's the lady's name? Is he Brianna Preston? Yeah, it's Brianna Preston. She finished with 22 points and 10 rebounds. So she did her thing, but the ladies did come up short.
Yes, they did. It came up a little bit short. Interesting, real quick, into that game. Coach Jan Nassar, she actually got teed up and made things interesting than what it was. They were up big, I think, double digits in the fourth quarter, but was able to make a run. And it was time about to run out. She ended up getting the tech on the call, and then ended up getting fouled on a 3-point shot. So that made it a little bit close for comfort. And a real quick history, Coach Nassar actually used to coach Wesleyan, led them to like 13, I think, state championships potentially in their history. Also including a 6-peat. So she is going to be a Hall of Famer if she's not already. So it's a lot of good history there. I think good experience for Wesleyan, and they had a really good group. Hopefully they get to play on the national circuit as well. But yeah, it just came up short, but I thought it was going to be an intriguing game, and it was probably one of the best girls games this past weekend.
Yeah, might have been top 3 games of the tourney, the whole thing. But is there another game you want to touch on, my friend?
Nah, we could do that. I just want to do a quick shout out. Shout out to Kate Harpering of Marist. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. She had a magnificent game against North Forsyth. She really took over the game in the third quarter, getting to the rim, getting to the lane, and it really put a lot of pressure on them. Also, Hannah Fekalaris, she had a really good game as well, posting 16 points. So I want to give them a special shout out. And I can't wait to see what Gabby Gliata can do next year. Excuse me. Only a sophomore. She scored over 14 points in that game. She really had to go and kept them in the game in the first half until Marist pulled away. But that's all I wanted to mention.
No, you're good, man. Shout out to, like I said at the beginning of the show, man. Congratulations to all the state championships and even the runner-ups, man, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be in sync and to make it that far, to make it to the historic Macon Coliseum. So for that, I will say congratulations to y'all, coaches, staff members, Booster Club, parents, everybody, because it takes a village, ladies and gentlemen. But me and Najee, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the players we are most excited to see this spring on the AAU circuit, man. So I'll let you break the ice, brother. Who you dying to see this summer or spring?
Yeah, I can't wait to look at Marcus Gillespie. I interviewed him on my personal platform. Y'all go back and watch that interview, man. He's going to be playing with Atlanta Express on the Under Armour circuit.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see him. I want to see a little bit more of Caleb Wilson up close and personal. I've seen him one time twice so far throughout his career. Seen him at Tip-Off Invitational, and then seen him at Double Trouble Invitational. So I want to see a little bit more of him. I want to see a little bit more of Bryson Teller. Got to see him at OTE this past weekend. I want to see a little bit more of him. Them guys can hoop, man. I can't wait to see them. OTE is a really, really great experience, and I can't wait to see more of him. Who's another player? I want to see more of Coda Tuttle from Wheeler. see what he's able to do. I think he got a very, very bright future. Can't wait to see how he plays and how he performs. And then there was one more. I want to see that dude, Mustafa Diop. I want to see him.
Man,
Yeah,
yes.
from Walker, I want to see him too. Them would be my top 5, and Justin Wise too.
For the G.
What a G,
Solid.
Big Sanchez. Appreciate you
Going
tuning in.
Great tuning in.
For me, it's got to be at the top of my list. I'm not gonna say at the top of my list. I'm just gonna give people right now. I haven't really put together but I do know if I want to see how Kyle looks coming back from his injury, assuming he'll play. I'm sure he'll play sometime this summer, if not the spring. And just Caleb Holt. I want to see how his games progress. Rod's been telling me his jumper's been kind of catching up with his driving game. So if his jump shot has become elite, I think he maybe need to boost up in the rankings. But and to say that, just the whole Georgia, we looking at the Georgia-Alabama thing in football. I want to see that type of dynamic from Alabama to Georgia and basketball. Even though Caleb will be playing for Game Elite this year, it kind of be a mix of a little bit of him and Georgia players. But I'm intrigued to see his growth. Carby Martin plays for AE5, Anthony Edwards. It's gonna be. I'm intrigued to see him this year. I saw playing East Coweta. I saw. I saw him learn. He's a leader in his own right, but I saw him kind of digress and be a facilitator as well. I know he works on his ball handling. You know what I'm saying? I know he wants to create off the dribble a little more, or maybe a little more efficiently. He does it at an exceptional clip. But just want to see his game on the AAU circuit, you know what I'm saying, how it's going to translate from how he's grown throughout the season. I think Job is another player. You know what I'm saying, I think like a lot of people are very high on him. Who else? Bryce Tiller's one as well. So it's the juniors. I can't remember his name. He plays at Pace Academy. He's in 8th grade. He's setting the basketball scene on fire. So I want to see him at the tip-off junior. It's a lot of I'm really intrigued more so by the young Bulls this year. And tip-off class. I'm interested to see who the big stars they bring in. Because usually, you know what I'm saying, if you haven't been paying attention and keeping up with the tip-off classes, usually who they bring in is who's paraded around, not just tip-off, but like OCE, you know what I'm saying, the circuit. Like last year we saw Sean Abeb for SOH Elite, and, you know what I'm saying, he went to the Under Armour circuit and blew up. And you know what I'm saying, blew up on the recruiting scene. So if you want to, and BJ Edgecombe, before he got to the Tip-Off Classic, he was not ranked high. He had one video out saying he was the best player in New York City, and it came out to be true. So if you want to know, be in the knows before everybody knows, go to the Tip-Off show. Please don't take my words for advertisement. That was tough. Man, if I see it, I know. But yeah, man, so that's definitely the guys we'll be looking for. There'll definitely be more where we'll bring up along the 3-man weave. So thank y'all for tuning in. If you want to say anything, Nigel, close us out. If not, we'll move on to the words of wisdom.
Nah, no, Jerome got to go. So let's go ahead and move to words of wisdom. We will cover the conference tournaments next week, guys, as far as basketball goes. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap up that section and go with words of wisdom and close us out for the show.
Yeah, man, I'll start it off, man. Not nothing crazy, man. Just be on time. Be on time. It's so simple, but so important. So you know what I'm saying, if you gotta set 3 or 4 alarms, get your behind up and be on time, man. That's what I got.
Another B. I'm gonna add another B to be on time. Be yourself, man. You heard Alex kind of mention it. If someone's already kind of brewing in my mind, be yourself, bro. Like whatever you do, have your passion into it. Put yourself into it. Don't, try to be somebody else or do what everybody else is doing. Be yourself. There's a market for you being yourself. So I say be you. There's enough of everybody else. You need to be yourself. So be yourself.
I'm gonna go off since we're doing B's. I'm gonna go off for y'all too. I'm gonna go off Jerome. I'm gonna say be consistent and be persistent. Right, it's a combination of the two. Right, don't quit just because it doesn't go your way initially. Right, we heard a whole bunch of cues and clues from Benson from Born to Compete. Right, and he just said, staying consistent. It's not gonna always, early on, you're not gonna see the success you want. In any industry, it doesn't matter if you go tech, entrepreneurship. Journalism, football, like it's years and years of work that finally accumulates and finally get put on the stage. So do something you're passionate about, be consistent, be persistent, and continue to go through, and don't just look for the results. Do it because you actually enjoy and you love to do it. The results will come, and if you be consistent and persistent, it's all going to work out.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, Jerome, go and close us out, man.
All right, man. Where are we going to be at this week? Real quick, I will be at the Shock Doctor 707 on Sunday. A lot of good teams, a lot of good players going to be out there, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Brady, where are you going to be at, sir?
Where's that event held at?
It's somewhere in Atlanta. I don't know that specific spot. Good. Yeah, but I'll update you because I don't even know exactly where it's at, but it's definitely in Atlanta.
I don't think I have anything lined up, so I might be joining you there Sunday. This is some basketball that I'm forgetting about. I'm gonna be with you.
Pull up. What about you, Nudge?
I will be out of town this week, taking a little bit of self-care, self-love. You know what I'm saying? Myself with a couple of friends and fam. But I'll be back, man. Ain't gonna be going long. I'll be back on Monday.
Hang loose, brother.
Yeah, hang loose. Have a little bit of good time. I'll be back on Monday, man. It's gonna go on a little trip. But I'll be back.
All I'm gonna say is take some tips from that movie Hangover. Just take some tips from that. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But take some tips from that movie. No doubt. Definitely.
Just letting it all hang out. How she sorry.
Chill.
Ow.
Funny, bro. Thank you guys so much, man. We got 82 strong in here. Thank you. Hey, shout out to the Twitter community because they're showing up right now. So both of our networks are pinned together 82 right now. Appreciate that. It's not last week. We had 100 something last week, but hey, 82 still strong. I love it. And y'all stick with us this late, so we do appreciate it, man. I will say this before I get off, man. We're getting 713 more followers to 10K on Inside the Hashes. So if you're not already following us, make sure you go on there, follow us on Twitter. But I want all my fans or all the viewers right now that are on Twitter right now that are on Inside the Hashes, go follow these guys. Run their stuff up, bro. Like if you follow me, you need to be following these two guys too. So don't just give me all the love or give Inside the Hashes love. Give these guys the love too, man. So if you're on here and you're seeing this and you're not following those guys, and you're not following these right here, go do that right now. These guys got some great content. Bacon for the videos, with Nav with the interviews and stuff like that, man. And y'all two dudes are doing some great stuff. So I want you guys to spread that love to these guys as well. I want these guys to get 10,000 at the same time I did. So give them 10,000 as well. Let's do it.
Appreciate that, man.
100%. But that's gonna wrap it up for us, guys. Thank y'all for coming out with us today at the First and Foremost podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. One more shout out to Alex Vincent for being on. That was some great words and great wisdom right there, man. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you go like and subscribe on YouTube. Run that YouTube up as well. You don't have no YouTube viewers. What's going on, guys? So get over there, YouTube. Subscribe over there as well, because that's really three of us. Find all the three of us on YouTube. It's all right here. Very similar names if you don't see it over there. Not just DM us. You can DM us. But definitely do that. We do appreciate every single one of you guys. And let's wrap it up like we always do, my boys.
Yes, sir.
This is the first and foremost podcast. We not only give you the spill, we keep it real. I thought I was in it for myself, guys. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.
Good on.
Hey, I gotta run it back.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Hey.